You're listening to the Blue 82 podcast, hosted by Craig and Nicholas. Please like and subscribe so we know that you like what we're doing. And now, let's talk football. Blue 82!
Welcome back, everybody, to episode 6 of the Blue 82 podcast. I'm here with my boy Nick again, my co-host as always. We had an exciting week of football, and we got some stuff to talk about for sure. But before we get too far into it, I realized we got a couple new subscribers. Just want to say we appreciate y'all. Appreciate the love. Thanks for subscribing. Hopefully y'all enjoy the videos so far, and we keep it rolling. I'm excited for this. Me and Nick have been having a whole lot of fun with this. We had a couple guests on. I think for a couple weeks we're probably going to have just me and him again, and then we'll see what we want to do.
Back to regular scheduled programming.
Yes, sir. But we appreciate y'all. We love y'all. Yeah. That's all I got.
Yeah, I mean, love the support.
Yes, sir.
No matter how big or small. Gotta start somewhere.
Yes, sir. We're getting there. So, this was an exciting week of football. I guess before we break down too much of what happened, we can go ahead and go through our...
Like the little bit of the news or something?
Little bit of the news, yeah. I guess the biggest news right now is fuck Trey Lance.
Yeah, that's the biggest one. Traded 3 first-round picks to get him, and...
Already out for the season. Played, what, 1.5 games?
Did he play any in his rookie season? He might have played like 1 or 2.
No, he played some in the rookie season, but he only played like the 1.5 or the 1 and.
That's what I'm saying. So like he's up to like what 2 games in his 3 games if you want to give him 3 games in his whole career, and he's already out. Like so, I guess he played 1 game for each pick almost, pretty much, right?
Yeah.
That's just so unfortunate. Like ankle surgery, like. I didn't really see it, but a lot of people I see are mad that there was like a halfback power type of like run or something with the quarterback.
Dude, yeah, I was watching
like,
the fucking.
I don't know. It's like injuries happen, you know.
Yeah, I was watching the what is it? The interview at the end of the game. They were talking to Kyle Shanahan, and they were like, "It was 2nd and 8. Why did you run that play?" Yada yada yada. And he was like, "Dude, we ran that play 2 plays earlier and got a 52-yard run off of it. Like, it's a play that's in our offense. It's a play that everybody runs." Injuries happen. You can't sit there. Of course, you can sit there and look back and say, well, yeah, if you didn't run that play and your quarterback didn't run the ball, he wouldn't have got hurt. It's like, yeah, but he also could have got sacked and gotten hurt. Are you telling me that the quarterback can't drop back and pass the ball? You know what I mean? Like, it just makes
it's
no
doomed
sense.
if you do, doomed if you don't type of thing. It's like,
and it's like they're just.
I mean, at the end of the day, it's like you can't play scared. Like injuries are gonna happen. Like what can you do?
You got to play to win.
It's part of the game.
Yep.
It's unfortunate, but yeah, I mean. I'm not sure. What else? Kamara? I don't know what happened with him.
He didn't even play.
Was it before, George Kittle didn't play again either? That was not one for the 49ers.
Which is upsetting. I finally drafted him and he doesn't play.
Yeah, he's costed me too. I had to pick up back-to-back weeks of waiver wire tight end pickups.
I somehow got somebody dropped Pat Freiermuth, which was surprising to me. I played him.
That is
I had him week 1 and week 2. That's
the worst play ever.
Yeah, he's like a top 8 tight end that you literally let me get off of waivers.
Yeah,
you know,
not sure what that guy's doing.
That guy's not doing anything. Like it makes.
It's no different than the guy last year in our fantasy league. He dropped George Kittle after he came back.
Yeah,
I think he came back like a week later and he dropped him. It's like
what
why?
Are you doing, my guy?
He held on to him for that long and then dropped him like he was coming back. But I don't know. I don't think there was anything else really. Was there like any other big injuries? That I can think of.
No, not any like big injuries that are crossing my mind. I know the biggest one is like we said the Trey Lance one. I'm sure there was other injuries across the board, but that's just the main one that we wanted to talk about. I'm just looking through real quick to make sure that there's.
I just can't believe it. Like that just really sucks. I'm also kind of like a little bit upset too because I was hoping that he'd stay healthy because if he wasn't good, then they probably would keep playing him just to like give him experience and try and like give him confidence. But we have their 1st-round pick, right? So I feel like I'm more comfortable with Trey Lance starting for them to get a worse pick than I am with Jimmy Garoppolo. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of like you already know you're going to get out of Jimmy G, and he's probably just going to be average to maybe sometimes really good, to sometimes just good, to sometimes ass. Like he's going to bounce around in that kind of like range.
It's just it's just upsetting for me because it's like.
You also just never know like if he's gonna be really good or anything like that.
Yeah,
we
didn't get to see if the guy like I really don't even know much about Trey Lance. I've never like necessarily
because even actually now that I think about it too. Sorry, the first game was a rain game, so it's like he didn't even really get to do anything.
We didn't get to see what he was like.
He basically played like one game this season, like an actual game, and it's like he didn't even get to even finish it. Like
so
that just really sucks.
We don't know what he's capable of in the NFL, so I think that's tough. Another I guess. Big for some people. Dalton Schultz apparently. I saw somewhere.
Was he hurt?
He got hurt. He had a.
Oh, no wonder he didn't put up any points in fantasy.
They're calling it a PCL issue, which I guess is a knee thing. Apparently,
I think isn't that another part of your knee?
Yeah,
the ACL, PCL.
I think Ezekiel Elliott was dealing with that last year, so I'm sure he'll miss some games. Pat Surtain had a shoulder issue.
Actually, I did see that.
Jerry Jeudy had a shoulder issue that they're saying is day-to-day as well. And then I think another piece of big news that is skipping our mind somehow is Mike Evans is getting suspended for a game for the fight.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so that's another piece
That's
of
Tom
big
Brady.
news.
What the fuck you want me to do?
Yeah, so it's like that's happening.
You know what's actually funny too?
What?
Is that happened in the middle of because I was talking to Janine on the phone when we were watching like the games.
Yeah.
And that happened in the middle of us talking. She has him in both like of our leagues that we're in. So she's like we're in the Yahoo league together. She has him in the ESPN one. And I said, "Do you want to trade Mike Evans now?" And she's like, "Shut up."
That's funny. Which I'm surprised. Did Marshawn Lattimore?
They're really gonna suspend him with that?
Yeah, they suspended him one game.
That's like official.
Yeah, it's official. Yeah.
Wow, that's actually surprising because, but I guess they have had like a lot of history together, right?
Yeah.
Almost like how it was like Josh Norman with
Evans
OBJ.
was suspended one game for a previous incident with Lattimore in 2017. So this isn't the first time.
Maybe this is like repeat offender type thing.
Yeah, I guess. I don't think Marshawn got suspended, which is kind of surprising, but.
They both got kicked out, right?
Yeah, they both got ejected.
Yeah, I don't know. That kind of sucks then if he gets suspended and he doesn't, because now that I think about it, it's like they're down now. Chris Godwin, they're down. Mike Evans now, and then I'm not sure who the other wide receivers would be now, and then even Leonard Fournette is a little bit hurt too.
Yeah, so for the wide receiver group for the Bucks, looking at it like for week 3, Mike Evans suspended. Chris Godwin missed week 2 with a hamstring. Julio Jones missed week 2 with a knee issue. Russell Gage, Rashad Perriman, Scotty Miller. So you figure if Chris Godwin and Julio Jones are out again, you have Russell Gage and Brashad Perriman and Scotty Miller as the top 3 options.
Oh.
Which
hopefully Julio's back.
If Julio's back, it's a good sign.
I feel like Julio's got to be back, but they probably just like maybe rested him. I don't know. Mm-hmm. Some people do like some people are have been resting.
Yeah.
Kind of like taking those like days off. Also, now that I think about it, Tom Brady looks fucking awful. Have you seen that one picture on the internet?
Which one?
It was like a close up of Tom Brady. Like someone tweeted it out. I don't know who it is or who it was. Was it like him at the press conference? Like he just like
he just looks.
He looks unhealthy. Like I don't know what's wrong with him. Like. Hopefully he's okay. Some people are saying maybe it's cancer or something like that. I don't know if it's like that, but
I think he's just going through a lot. I mean, there's all these
I don't know, but he just
the divorce
his face looks super like sunken in. Like it just did not look good. Like
I think he had some sort of plastic.
I hope he's okay though. Like
bro.
I don't know what's going on with him, but hopefully he figures it out because like.
And they haven't looked the best on the offensive side of the ball either. So it's clearly.
Oh, I see a lot of clips of him yelling at his teammates and all that, but. I'm ready to get into it though.
Yeah, tonight we got a double header Monday night game. We talked about it last week. Got Bills, Titans, Vikings, Eagles. So that's coming on in 2 hours? You got the Bills and the Titans starting up. So I'm excited for that. We love good.
But it's on at 7.
Yeah, one of them comes on at 6:00, or my time, so 7 for you, and then the other one is 7:30, which is 8:30 for you. So you'll have about an hour and a half, hour and 15 to watch the Titans and the Bills. and then you'll have to decide. Okay, do I want to watch that or the Vikings and the Eagles? But
I'll tell you right now, you don't need to
Watching
decide.
the Vikings and the
You
Eagles.
don't need to decide.
Yeah.
It ain't a hard decision.
I'm sorry, but I think the Vikings Eagles is just going to be so much more fun to watch with Jalen Hurts going against Kirk Cousins. You got AJ Brown and Justin Jefferson. Both of these teams looked really good in Week 1, so I'm excited for that game.
Yeah, I guess we might as well just talk about the Monday night games before we get back into the recapping, right? Because these are the ones that are happening right now.
Yeah.
So, the Titans and Bills, like, I really don't know what to expect out of the Titans. Like, they're one of those teams that when they're on, they're pretty good. They get beat those really good teams, but it all just really depends on, like, Ryan Tannehill, Derrick Henry, right?
Yep.
Because if Derrick Henry has a bad game, then it usually falls on to Ryan Tannehill, and he's proven time and time again that he's not always consistent. Like, he's like a Jimmy G type guy.
Yeah.
He'll show up sometimes. Other times he's a fish in the water. Like, he has no idea what he's doing. You know what I mean?
Look, I'm a firm believer in King Henry, and I genuinely do not
You
think...
drafted him in our league, right?
Yeah, I genuinely
Yeah.
do not think that he has bad games. I think he has games where they don't give him the ball enough. You got to give this guy the ball 25 times a game. Let this motherfucker heat up. Let him wear down the defense. Because eventually these motherfuckers are going to get tired of tackling a dude that's fucking 6'5", 230, whatever he is. You know what I mean? Like, that's a big dude.
Okay, I get what you're saying, but at the same time, what if you're down like 20-3? Like, you want to just keep running the ball with Derrick Henry? Like,
but that wasn't the case versus the fucking Giants. They were either leading. It was always a close game. You had no reason to not feed him. Like, I don't know exactly how many carries he had in the first week, but I doubt it was a lot.
He's at 21 carries, 82 yards, and he had 3.9 average.
Okay, so he had 21
he had 18
carries.
was his
That's
longest
still
one.
solid, yeah. I mean, yeah.
So it's like they gave him the ball, but it's like the Giants.
The Giants just played.
He got a fucking lot of he got 81 yards, which is still good,
Yeah.
but his yards per carry, like, they stuffed him pretty much.
But I do think, like, looking back at this game for this week, the Titans at the Bills, I think the only way you're going to slow down a team like the Bills on the offensive side of the ball is by holding the ball on your
you got to take it out. Like,
you got to spend 7 minutes on each fucking drive before you score. You know what I mean? Like, that's the only way you're going to get the Bills out of rhythm. It's the same thing we've seen all these years with Mahomes and all them and Brady. Like, you need to keep the ball out of their hands, and the only way they're going to do that is just by giving Derrick Henry the ball 30 times a game.
I was going to say, like, the way you beat these playoff teams is, like, one of these, like, midfield to, like, rebuilding teams is by running the ball.
Yeah.
Like, you really need to just keep the ball out of these elite quarterbacks' hands. Like, whenever we played the Patriots when Tom Brady was in town, I used to always, like, say, we got to run the ball. Because if you don't run the ball and take it out of, like, trading the clock out, get touchdowns, like, you can't compete. Like, we don't have the quarterback power to compete. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
It's so hard to, like, win shootouts unless you have, like, a quarterback that can compete in those shootouts.
Exactly.
Like, it's so hard. Like, you need to either have a really good defense that can just somehow stop them, like, more times than they give up touchdowns. But, again, like, that's just a hard task.
Yeah, back in the day when the Texans played the Patriots, like, I remember specifically there was a couple times, and I think it was, like, this season before we got Watson. I don't remember who our fucking quarterback was. Don't really care, to be honest. But I remember there was a couple times where, like, before half, the Texans were leading, like, 10-3 or, like, 14-3 or something. Like, they were leading by a score and a half or something each time, right? And the reason we were is because Brady literally only had the ball, like, 2 times. He got it first, I think, had it 3 and out, and then we literally just ran the ball and drained the fucking clock to where he got the ball twice in the first half. And it's like, and then the second half, we came out and tried to do something different and change it up for some reason and ended up losing the game to Tom Brady. So it's like, you need to run the ball and keep the ball out of these quarterbacks' hands, and that's the only chance you got against a powerhouse like the Bills.
Unless you're willing to go into a shootout with them, and then it's like, at that point, it's
like
like
you
good
said,
luck.
if you don't have the
Because if you don't have
quarterback,
Mahomes, if you don't have someone like that, like, you're not gonna win them.
Yeah.
But good luck to you. But you can try.
Yeah.
But I was gonna say, like, the best, like I said, the best way is either run game or pass rush. Like, if you have an elite pass rush, that's the best way too. Like,
and Titans don't really have that because they lost what's his name, Hassan Reddick, I think. Is that his name? No, not Hassan Reddick. I don't know. Somebody, one of their pass rushers got injured. So their pass rush isn't really there.
But I know the Bills' defense is, like, the number 1 defense last year, so
disgusting.
This team is, like, built to fucking win. I'm excited to see what happens in week 3, but we're not there yet because they got an interesting matchup. But the next game here with the Vikings and at the Eagles, I think this is probably going to be the best game to watch. You got A.J. Brown, who literally went off in week 1 against the Lions.
Yards.
Then you have Justin Jefferson for the Vikings. He fucking went off like 2 touchdowns.
80-something yards.
Yeah, like this should honestly be a really good game. I think both defenses, I'm not really like big on them. Like the Vikings tried to make a lot of improvements from last
middle
year.
Of the pack, I think.
Yeah, like
but
the Vikings defense was awful last year, but definitely room for improvement for both sides of the ball. But I really like these offenses. I think it's going to be a good matchup. I think Kirk Cousins and Jalen Hurts are probably like on the same par almost.
Yeah, the Eagles drafted a couple of defensive players from Georgia. So their defense is on the come up.
Yeah, I know the Vikings signed people too. We talked about it.
But yeah, no, I definitely think this is going to be an offensive sided game.
Yeah, I think this could be another like 30-30 type of game, like going toe to toe. This could be probably the shootout.
Yeah, 100%.
with how good these offenses probably could be. But honestly, I think the Vikings are going to take this. Like we both had them predicted. I think. Yeah, we both have predicted the Vikings, but if Jalen Hurts shows up and plays how he can play, then I could easily see the Vikings winning as well. It really depends on him. I trust Kirk Cousins more though. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think Jalen's still got a little bit to go. He's making the right steps. Like you're saying, if he comes out and shows
Remember how you
up
said
and
about
plays
Tua
well.
right before we started this? That's what I'm in the same boat with Jalen Hurts. He got to be a little bit more consistent, and then I can back him up and believe him.
Yeah, he hasn't shown it. Only reason I'm
that man can definitely fucking run though.
Oh yeah. Only reason I'm backing him up is just because he's a Houston boy. Like I've said before, my dad literally played high school football with his dad, so it's like just little shit like that. Like I support the guy for that. But no, 100%. He's got to be more consistent as far as like throwing the ball. He can run the fucking ball like nobody's business. Like in my opinion, he's just as good as any runner in the league.
This will be my first time watching him since the playoffs, so I'm interested to see how he does.
Yeah, and that game was ugly. So hopefully this is a lot.
That's what I'm saying. Like, that was like my last my last memory of Jalen Hurts is fucking shitting in his pants in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So I was like, hopefully this game can be a lot better.
I think this is going to be a really good game. Like Nick said, we both picked the Vikings, but I'm just going to go out on record and say that I'm okay with either team winning because I have like ties to both teams. I'm a big Justin Jefferson fan. I'm a big fucking Jalen Hurts fan. Like, I would be okay with either team winning, and I could see either team winning.
Well, I'm not going to be okay with the Eagles winning because I'm going to bet on the Vikings tonight, so... But yeah. Oh yeah, just to say real quick, we also took both the Bills and we took both the Vikings.
Yep. So we're the same on
this.
So
that's pretty much the Monday night games. Unless you have anything else to add to them.
No, that's all I got for the Monday night games. The
run games should be pretty good too because the Eagles were the #1 rushing team last year, and then Delvin Cook. So
yeah,
could be a really good game.
The way our schedules line up with these podcasts, it's kind of tough because we only do one episode a week, so it makes it to where like. These Monday night games are happening on the time we record the episode, and then we don't upload the episode until Tuesday. So we have to go back and talk about it, and I think the way it's worked out, we never actually went back and talked about week 1 Monday night game, the Seahawks versus Broncos. I don't want to get into it too much, but I will say Russell Wilson looks like fucking shit if we're talking about just this game. Their whole offense and coaching staff.
Even week 2. Even week 2 he didn't look.
Yes.
He didn't look better. So
I was gonna get into that more, but I definitely.
All I'm gonna say
something is wrong with that offensive side of the ball. Whether it's the coach, the quarterback, something's not gelling, and it's not gonna be good. Like they need to figure it out.
All I'm gonna say is for the week 1 Monday night game for the Broncos is Nathaniel Hackett is a fucking Hackett. Like he's a hack job. Like, that guy had no idea what the fuck to do. Like, I remember watching, like, Peyton Manning, like, the Eli Manning, like, what's it called, the Manning cast. Like, did not call timeout at all, and they have 3 fucking timeouts with, like, what was it, like, 30 seconds left, a minute left in the game, and they're wasting time, and it's like, what are you doing? Like, oh, my, that was just so bad to watch.
Just ugly. Somebody in chat said, bro, a high school coach could have called a better game than the Broncos coach.
Oh, he also said worst player call I've ever seen, and I completely agree. Like that was so fucking brutal. Like watching that, I was like, I literally am speechless.
Yeah.
Like,
Me
I
and
could not
Nick
believe
talked
it.
about this, and I told him, like, and I don't disagree with what I said. I told him that I don't mind kicking the field goal there, but at least...
But that field goal was like the second longest in NFL history. Like that.
Let me finish.
That's fucking brutal.
Let me finish. I don't mind necessarily going for the field goal, right? Because you do have a guy that has a fucking leg on him. Is it a long kick? Absolutely. But people aren't saying the same. I mean, I guess it's different going for that kick when
It's
there's
the
4
second
seconds.
longest field goal. The second longest one.
I get you. You gotta, like, at the same time, you really only have 2 options there. Go for it on 4th and 5, kick the field goal. So either way, if he kicks the field goal, he's going to be a hero if he makes it. He's not going to be a hero if he misses it. If he goes for the 4th down, if he gets it, he's going to be a hero. If he doesn't get it, he looks like a fucking idiot. You know what I mean? So it's like it's a win-win, lose-lose situation either way.
But it's like, I think people would understand more that you went for it because it's like that field goal makes no fucking sense in any world.
I agree. My thing with it
I
is
do
is
not
at
give
least,
a fuck what kicker you have, Justin Tucker, whoever. I'm not kicking that field goal if I'm the coach. Like, there's just no fucking way.
Yeah,
if it's 60 or under, all day I'm kicking it. But anything over 60 yards, I'm saying no because it's like it's too far.
I don't disagree with that. The
Especially
only thing I'm saying is at least take a timeout to at least show people, or even for yourself, to sit there and say,
and like,
right,
think
we
about
thought
it,
about
like,
every
discuss
option.
it.
This is what the fuck we're doing. But instead, you let the play clock run out, or then you take a timeout.
They took
and then
the time.
You kick
They
it,
let the
and
play
it's
clock drain, and then they fucking took the timeout. Like, it made
and then
no
not
sense.
only that, throughout the whole red zone, they fucking had delay a game after delay a game. Even
fumbles
this week,
in the end zone.
Yeah, even this week we had hella delay of games out of the Broncos. Like, they're just not looking good on the defensive side of the ball. I mean, the offensive
The thing
side
I
of
don't
the ball.
understand too is they're paying all this money. They paid all this money to Russell Wilson before they even seen him play a fucking game as a Bronco, right?
Yeah.
And like, he's a Super Bowl winning quarterback. Does he not know how to fucking game manage either? Like, call timeouts yourself too. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. If it's a power trip with the coach, if it's Russell
Like, you paid all
Wilson
this money
not
to the
trying
quarterback. You're
fucking-
telling me he doesn't know how to game manage? Like, come on.
Yeah, it's got to be more than
Like,
that though, because he knows how to game manage. He's done it a million times. It's got to be
Like, there's
something.
no fucking way you
It's got
don't
to
call
be something
timeout. Like,
underlying
something's got to be wrong.
between the coach saying you can't call timeouts and I can, or something of that.
That doesn't make
extent.
sense to me then, because like, why did you trade for him? Like,
No, I mean I agree completely. That's what I'm
makes
saying.
no sense.
Is
Like,
it a power trip with
is
Nathaniel
Nathaniel
Hackett?
like-
Is it what's going on? Because something's not right, and it's
I
just.
will say though,
ugly.
someone did make a good point that he did come from the Packers, where they also don't like to trust elite quarterbacks. So maybe that's
what
all
I'm
he
saying,
knows, you know?
bro. Like
I don't know.
something's just not right.
All I'm gonna say, the last thing I'm gonna say is though, if you're gonna kick like a 63-yard field goal, like, I'm okay with it if it's like the last 4 seconds of the game.
Yeah, no,
And
I
that's
agree.
like the only play you have is like is do or die. Like, it is what it is. But kicking it for like that with that amount of time left, like, there's just no shot. Like, you can get 5 yards out of your $30 million quarterback.
At least you would fucking hope so, but the way they were playing, maybe he didn't trust him, so he's like, fuck it, I trust my kicker more than Russell. I don't fucking know. It's a shit show. But moving on
to week 2.
To week 2, Thursday night game, we had Chargers-Chiefs. This was a pretty good game. The Chargers had it at the beginning, and Chiefs did
The Chargers
typical,
fumbled this one, honestly.
Yeah,
like,
Chiefs did the typical, we just keep playing
Justin
us and
Herbert
come
pick
back.
6
Yeah,
for the loss, basically.
the Chargers just they did a Chargers thing and they blew the game. You know what I mean? Like, that's the thing with the Chargers organization. Like, they've always had decent teams, even back when Phillip Rivers was around, and it's just always they do something to hurt themselves to keep them out of that elite tier, like the Bills level conversation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, we just never put them up there because they always do something to hurt themselves at the end of the day.
Yeah, I don't know. Justin Herbert is so talented, and it's like, dude, should not be
The
losing
whole
these type of
team's so
games.
talented. Like, what?
I mean, that too. It's just
Yeah.
like, but it's like, it all really, like, I'm just saying, it comes down to quarterback play in today's NFL, and it's like, you have that good of a quarterback.
Yeah, Mahomes
There's
is
no
gonna
way you
figure
should be
it out.
losing. Like, I don't understand. It's like,
Yeah.
Justin Herbert's easily a top 3, top 5 quarterback, and I can't believe they lost that game. Like, he threw that pick 6, like, that was super big. Also, too, I don't know. Did you watch that game, right? When he had like that rib injury, and like he was like, he had a first down wide open, like he goes to run for it, and like he threw the ball, and I'm like, what?
And then the
He could have
next
ran
play,
for like the first down, and the next play he throws like a fucking dot,
30-yard
on, like,
dot,
fourth,
and it's like,
like
you couldn't
4th
even
and
run
10,
2
whatever it was.
yards, and now you threw a
And I was
30-yard
like,
dot.
I was so confused. Yeah, and then you saw how like he threw the ball away too. It was like
Yeah.
so weird, and I'm like, what the fuck happened here? And then
I will say,
Yeah.
looking back, on that run play where he threw it away or like threw it like 2 yards in front of him.
That was so weird.
No, it was weird. But looking back, I wonder if Justin Herbert was like, if I throw an incompletion here, it's better because it stops the clock instead of me running 5 yards and sliding. You know what I mean?
He could have easily gotten out of bounds, I feel like, though, but I don't know.
It would have been close. I definitely could have seen it.
It was a weird play, but
yeah.
It was just weird because the way that he threw the ball, like the ball came
Yeah.
out weird as hell, and like he looks really hurt, and then
I don't know if,
just comes back with like a
Yeah,
fucking
and
4th down strike.
that's
like,
why I'm like, I don't know if just because the way of the next play he
it
literally
was so
throws that
weird.
strike,
It was so weird.
it made me think that like he threw it down on purpose because he didn't want to keep the clock running. But I don't know. But it
Maybe he was just feeling the pain, and then maybe he pulled it back. I don't know. It
maybe
was
he
weird.
locked it in for
But
the next play.
your chatter here said Mike Williams is a beast, and I agree. I have him in fantasy. That dude went off.
that dude is nice. It's crazy.
Keenan Allen went out with an injury before the week. Was it the week before? And then Mike Williams just took over this game.
I feel like
basically.
if Mike Williams was on a different team, he's easily the best wide receiver on their team. On that team, you know what I mean?
Yeah, he
He's
can easily be a number 1 receiver. Just like Chris Godwin, I think, can be a number 1 receiver.
Yeah,
He's just
no,
thrown those
100%.
teams with like another player that's just as good, if not a little bit better.
But with that being said, we've seen it to where when you have 2 essentially number 1 wide receivers on your team, it works out. Just like how we did in the Dolphins and the Ravens game, which...
oh my god,
yeah.
what a game.
What a game this was. I mean, I'm kind of a quote-unquote Ravens fan, so this was tough. Like I've said before,
I'm gonna say
fans
this.
of a bunch of different teams, but the Ravens
Before,
definitely blew that.
So for every Dolphins game, I've been recording it, right?
Yeah.
So I started recording this game, and then it was really ugly in the first half. So I got really mad. I canceled my DVR. I didn't want to record it no more. And then they started making a comeback, and I tried to record it back, but it didn't it didn't record any of it. It recorded like the last 20 seconds. I'm like, well, that sucks, but that's what it is. What it is, you know.
Good thing YouTube's a thing, Nick, and you could literally.
That's
go
what I'm
back
saying. Yeah, it just sucks because I had the game recorded and I was getting so mad. I was like, well, lesson learned, I guess. Just don't delete it. I'll just keep it. I was so mad.
I'll say a couple things about this, and then I'll let Nick have his moment because I know he's excited, being a Dolphins fan and all. Ravens choked this badly. The Ravens played very well in, the first half and the third quarter or whatever, but the fourth quarter, they just took absolute shit on the defensive side of the ball especially. I watch Red Zone on Sundays, so these 12 o'clock games, I'm going back and forth. So I only get to see bits and pieces of every game, but I do go back and watch some of them. I haven't gone back and watched this one, but I will say I still think Lamar is that fucking guy. I know Nick has other things to say, and I don't know if he was just saying that yesterday to me because he was hype or what, but Lamar is still that guy. Give this man his money. I feel like it could be bad if the Ravens don't figure out a contract in the offseason with him, because I feel like he has no problem going somewhere else. And especially with as much quarterback movement we've had in the recent years, if Lamar ends up somewhere else, in my opinion, he takes them to the next step of the team. You know what I mean? Whether they're in the middle of the pack, he brings them to the good teams. Whether they're a good team and you add him, he brings them to the fucking elite teams. He's that guy. Tua played fucking disgustingly good. The Dolphins have the best wide receiver duo in the fucking NFL. You can't change my mind. Jamar Chase and T. Higgins are disgusting too, but I think you cannot beat the speed of Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill combined, and I'm so excited to watch the Dolphins play the rest of the season. Nick, what you got?
Yeah, about the Lamar comments, amazing. I was just trolling you. Just because I know you're your boy, I was just fucking with you. But I still think Lamar...
even said it too. The guy's good.
Yeah,
that's why yesterday you were pissing me off because you were like, Lamar, Tua owns Lamar, yada, yada, yada. And I'm like, dude, shut the fuck up. You know damn well Lamar is disgusting. Anyways.
Janine was watching the game with me, and Lamar had the Hail Mary, and the Hail Mary didn't even, make it to the end zone. I was like, no arm, noodle arm, noodle arm, noodle. I was just trolling, But, yeah, what a great game that was. Yeah, Lamar definitely needs to get paid. I don't know who's going to pay him, but someone's going to pay him, either the Ravens or the Lions. Someone will pay this guy money because he fucking deserves it.
Mm-hmm.
That guy had a 80 rushing yard touchdown, I think it was, something like that.
Yeah.
He was dotting up the fucking Dolphins defense in the first half.
And the Dolphins secondary is not bad at all.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Really good.
Xavier and Howard got fucking toasted
Torched by Bateman.
Yeah, Bateman. I will say though, the big thing in this game was that kick return. Like that kick return
At the
really
beginning, set the tone.
yeah,
yes.
like it really like helped the Lamar out and like the Ravens out because that kind of gave them the extra cushion. And then that Bateman was like wide open, like 70-yard slant touchdown. Like that was really big too. And then going into the second half, like the Ravens really like shut it down. Like they didn't really do anything. I think they only got like maybe a field goal. I think it was. I don't know. Maybe they got another. I don't know if they got another touchdown. I have to look at it real quick.
Might have gotten a touchdown in the third quarter.
It might have been one touchdown and like a field goal.
Yeah, I think
but it was.
Yeah.
They definitely like really fucking played conservative, and I was kind of surprised.
I was telling my mom the same thing.
Okay, yeah, they got 10 points. They got 10
points,
a touchdown
okay.
in the third, and then a field goal in the fourth.
I was telling my mom the same thing because she was like, "Well, how did they blow that lead?" And I'm like, "You got to realize, like, a lot
you
of
want to know how
these
they blew the lead?
coaches-
I'll tell you right now. They scored 28 points, and the Ravens scored 3. 28
No,
to 3. Never
yeah,
forget.
yeah. No, but like these teams, when they have like a big lead like that, especially going into the fourth quarter, they don't want to do anything wrong to where they don't want to necessarily call the plays they would call to score more points because they don't want to make mistakes and then give the other team even more chances. But instead, when you do that, I feel like you literally keep this other team in the game and let them linger and score.
I'll tell you this too, actually. This wasn't like one of those games where like they blew it because they were playing conservative. John Harbaugh went for it on like 4th down 3 times and they didn't get it.
Oh God.
There was a time where they were in, I think it was in the first half. I can't remember like exactly what it was. It might have been the first half, I think.
Yeah.
But the Ravens were on 4th and goal. When Mark tried to run it, the ball went through his fucking legs. He fumbled it.
I did see
and then
that
they
one,
picked
yeah.
it up. That was like a like
yeah.
a 7. That was because they only got 7 points in the first quarter. That was another one where they could have got points.
Yeah.
They didn't get it. There was a 4th down that they tried to get. I believe it was in the second half. They didn't get it. When Mark tried to quarterback sneak it, they stuffed it. And I'm like, what are you like? John Harbaugh's low key kind of choking his game, like.
Yeah.
And then even on that last drive where Tua like scored the touchdown to Waddle, he didn't call any timeouts. I was like, your defense is gassed. Like your
Yeah.
defense has
Give
been on
them
the
a
field the
break.
whole fucking like half, basically, like. Because the Ravens' offense basically like stalled, like they weren't doing anything. So it's like your defense was fucking toasted, and like you just basically let them out there to basically lose the game almost, like you know what I mean?
100%.
But what a fucking game! Like Tua put his big boy pants on and balled at like 469 yards, 6 touchdowns.
Crazy,
Like
dude. Those are
literally the
big
best
boy
performance I've
numbers.
ever seen out of a Dolphins quarterback. I think it's the best game we've ever had out of a Dolphins quarterback since Marino and since I think his name is, what is his name? Brian Greasy, I think his name is.
Yeah.
Something like that. Two Hall of Famers, basically. One's a Super Bowl winner, one's not, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But yeah, what a great game. I don't even care if you're not even a fan of the Ravens or the Dolphins. Like that's the type of games I would look for as an
I
NFL to
love
watch.
watching
Like
those games, dude.
just firework type games. Like 2 big plays to Hill that were like a 60-yard and a 50-something yard field goal. A big play to Bateman. Like those are the type of plays that I feel like NFL fans look forward to.
Oh yeah.
Even Chase Edmonds in like the 4th quarter had like a big run on that last drive too. I don't know if you saw that one. That was a kind of a big call there because who really runs the ball in the 4th quarter
Nobody.
down
Yeah.
a touch like down a I think it was down a
He
field
got
goal
like
at least
20
like
yards off of it or something, right?
yeah, it was a big run. Like really fucking took them right back into the red zone to score again. I'm really like as a Tua fan, I've been basically like rooting for him since he came out of Alabama. I love the kid. It's really great to see him finally put it all together and have a great game.
I was
really going to be mad too. I just want to say something real quick. I was going to be mad too because he's had really good games. Like he had a game against the Cardinals that was really good. But a lot of his games that he goes over 300 yards, I think they've lost like pretty much all of them.
Yeah, this one.
Like games that he's really doing good, they lose. And I'm like, why?
Yeah.
But it was finally nice to see it was all put together. They finally won. Even the defense stepped up in the second half. Lamar almost did have a pick 6 too.
Yeah. What did I hear about Mostert was like the starter the whole time?
Yeah. Well, Raheem Mostert was starting pretty much.
Oh, interesting.
He had some pretty good runs too.
So, all you fantasy people, if you got Mostert on the waivers, might be something to look forward to and pick up.
I don't know,
even
because
if
Chase Edmonds started week 1, Raheem Mostert started week 2, so
Yeah.
I'm not sure if they're just going to cycle it back and forth or
Yeah,
what. But
I'm just saying, like, even if
I
you
don't know.
stash him on the bench for a couple weeks and wait to see how
Yeah.
this works out, but I mean, both
Mike
of them definitely
McDaniels, I don't know,
have.
he might be.
Yeah, both of
be onto
them
something
have
here, I
the
don't know.
potential to be the number one guy. But like Nick said, they could just be going back and forth to keep them healthy and you know what I mean, things like that. But I will say, it's got to be exciting to be a Dolphins fan right now, starting off 2-0. Your quarterback that everybody's talked shit about is looking promising. Your off-season moves that you've made have fucking paid off in dividends so far. You beat a powerhouse like the Ravens against Lamar Jackson and John Harbaugh.
Bateman.
You beat Bill
Mark
Belichick.
Andrews,
You're beating teams that are good, and you're beating.
Those are
good
two
coaches.
playoff teams last year, were they not?
So
The Ravens were in the playoffs, weren't they?
No, they just missed it.
Or they just missed it? Yeah.
So it's got to be exciting to be a Dolphins fan, especially last year. Y'all started off 1-7, and then ended up 8-7.
Brutal start. We won like 7 games in a row.
So it's got to be a good sign to know that y'all are headed in the right direction. Y'all should be a playoff team this year. We've said this before. Me and Nick have that. There's no reason they shouldn't be in the playoffs. But even if y'all don't make the playoffs this year, you're still headed in the right direction, and it's something to look forward to. If you're
it's gonna suck if we don't make the playoffs. It's like, 2 years ago we were 10-7, wasn't it? Yeah, 10-7, and then last year we were 9-8. It's like, come on, like we missed the playoffs so close. Like
so close every year.
Every year we're just one game out basically, and it's like you gotta. Hopefully this is the year. I actually did see on Pat McAfee's podcast.
Yeah.
It was like since 1990, teams that start 2-0 make the playoffs 63% of the time. So
yeah, it's the odds when you start off 2-0 are so much better than 1-1.
Yeah, 0-3. I think 0-3 was like you have like a 30% chance. Then 1-1 is like I think it was like 40 something like that.
So since
it was like since 1990, something like that.
Since 2020, when they expanded the playoffs to 14 teams, 18 teams have started off 0-2, and none of those 18 teams have made the playoffs. So as far as just like analytics and in recent years, if your team has started off 0-2, it's not looking good for playoffs. You know what I mean? Like, so
yeah.
With that being said, like these teams, like who's 0-2? The Panthers,
the Bengals,
not looking good. Falcons, Bengals in the Super Bowl last year, not looking very good. So it's like the Raiders that we've talked highly of, not looking very good. Not to say that they can't break the fucking cycle, but just based off stats, that's how it's been in the recent years. Moving on to the Jets and the Browns. This was a hell of a game. I know you probably didn't see much of it, Nick.
I didn't watch this game because it was a blowout at first. But I saw the end of it. Nick Chubb fucking blew that game. All he has to do is just get that first down, go down, and then he can kneel the clock out. But he scored that touchdown. That third touchdown he had?
Yeah, yes and
it's hard to say, but it's like you want to score, but you don't want to score, but it's like he scored that touchdown.
No, bro. The Browns let them score a touchdown and get an onside kick and then score another touchdown.
Yeah, but if he goes down, he just kneel it out. That's what I'm saying. Like, he just has to go down.
I hate
just
that shit. No, I hate that shit. You never know that. That's literally looking back at, you know what I mean? You don't know what the fuck's going to happen. He could have.
All you have to do is just go down. You go down, you can kneel the clock out.
I hate that
100%.
Shit. Nah, bro.
No, that's not even like nitpicking anything.
The defense choked.
Oh, I agree. They all
choked.
They all choked.
Yeah, no,
they gave up like
I get what
fucking
you're saying, but I just
first play touchdown basically.
Yeah,
right after they scored and they missed the extra point.
Yeah, that was just an ugly game. And
then they gave up a fucking onside kick.
Yeah, that was disgusting. Props to the Jets though. They never
Joe
fucking
Flacco.
Joe
like
Flacco.
4 touchdowns.
You know what's funny?
Like, that was insane.
I was sitting there watching this game, and I was like, my dad was in the kitchen doing something, and while I was watching this game, and I was like giving him updates because he couldn't really see the TV. And then he walked over at one point, and he was like, "What is Joe Flacco doing?" And I was like, "Trying to get a starting job again."
Yeah, he's dotting them up like.
Yeah, he fucking,
against a good team too. Like the Browns defense, a lot of people talked about being good, and
nice.
They won that game. That was insane.
Yeah. This is a little upsetting, like as far as the Browns, because if you could have started off 2-0, and then potentially, I don't know,
gotten Watson back.
Yeah, like you start off 2-0. I know it's still early, and
to be fair though,
their
division's ass right now. So
yeah, so I mean,
they got a little bit of room.
Yeah, they still got a chance.
They just got to worry about the Ravens. I think the Ravens right now look like the favorites, but
yeah,
I don't know if they can figure it out a little bit and get some wins. That'd be nice for them.
Mm-hmm. But good game out of the Jets. Our recent guest was a big Jets fan. So shout out Tyler. I know.
Yeah, my prediction too was so wrong. I predicted the Jets to win, but I thought it was gonna be like their defense winning it.
Yeah,
but no, it was Joe fucking Flacco. Who would have thought?
Yeah. Moving on to the Commanders at the Lions. Lions pretty much dominated this game from the
Is this
get-go.
back-to-back points of 35 plus points?
Yeah.
38, 36, like
Yeah, Lions
What the
ain't fucking
fuck?
around. Lions are putting points on the board. Amon-Ra St. Brown
Breaking
is
kneecaps,
that fucking
like-
guy, bro. Like Amon-Ra St. Brown is built different. I think I talked about this last time, or I told this to somebody. On Hard Knocks, there was a clip of him literally listing every single wide receiver that was taken before him in the draft. Amon-Ra St. Brown's saying fuck you to all those dudes and is trying to say that he's better. Like, the Commanders looked like how I expected the Commanders to be. They got some pieces that look like they could be pretty good, but the Lions just led this game and controlled it the whole time. Like, the Lions looked halfway decent, which is surprising. Aiden Hutchinson had 3 sacks. The dude's looking like he's going to be a fucking demon in this league. Like, yeah, the Lions
all I'm
look
gonna
pretty
say
nice.
is we kind of shit talked the fuck out of the Lions
Mm-hmm.
on the what episode was that? The team
Yeah,
ranking
but I
ones?
think we also said that we could see them being somewhat competitive. Like, I mean,
I
of
don't
course
know.
we
I
didn't
don't
expect
remember.
this, but
But
I
I
know for
definitely did
sure
not
I've
expect
said that I
fucking-
could see them being pretty decent. Like winning a couple more games than they did last year.
But I don't know. Right now, 2 weeks in, they look pretty fucking good to me.
Yeah, they look like middle of the pack for
Like
sure. Even,
definitely better than what I really fucking thought.
Yeah, no, 100%. Moving on.
Washington though, I don't know. Like
They're iffy.
I don't know. Like
They struggled against
Carson
the Jags.
Carson Wentz started so slow in that game because I remember
Yeah,
I
someone
think
in chat
Janine
someone in
has him or
chat said
something.
they had 52 yards in the first half for the Commanders.
Yeah, there you go. Like I was gonna say, they started off really slow because I remember looking at the scoreboard at like halftime and like seeing that they didn't really do anything. I'm like, what the fuck happened?
Yeah.
And then next thing you know, they brought it back. It was close, and then they ended up losing at the end there.
Lions were just commanding this whole game, though.
I don't know. I'm not too sure about Carson Wentz, but
I mean, I even said this last week on the show, I think. I think Carson Wentz is going to have your games here and there where you're like, oh my God, he's good. But then he's going to have your other games and you're like, well, that's Carson Wentz. That's the Carson Wentz we all know. Like, he's just so inconsistent. That's why I don't think he'll ever be, like, an elite quarterback. I mean, I don't think anybody's calling him an elite quarterback, but you know what I mean? Like, he'll just never
he
get
did
to
have that
point.
one year. It was like 2016,
The year they
17,
went to the
whatever. He was
Super
like the he was like an MVP, and then
Yeah.
fucking
Got hurt.
that was it.
Moving on to the. With that being said, though, I'm excited to watch the Lions and see how they turn out the next few weeks. See if they can keep it going. They've scored 35 plus points in each game, so that's something to look forward to. Moving on to the Colts and the Jags. I know at the past few episodes, me and Nick have both said I think that we think this division is going to run through the Colts and the Titans, and it's going to be a back and forth between them all year long. But I think I might come back off that statement and say I would not.
100% off the statement.
I would not be surprised if the Jaguars win the division at this rate. And fuck, maybe even the Texans, because goddamn, the Colts look bad. The Colts look very bad.
0 fucking points with Jonathan Taylor as your running back. Like, makes no fucking sense, dude.
Yeah. And Trevor, I know you're Trevor Lawrence, you're not a fan of or whatever, but like he looked pretty good in this game. Like, I don't know exactly what his stats was, but I think I saw something he was like 25 for like 32 or something. Like, he looked really good in this game. So, and the Colts defense isn't really a pushover defense either. So, 24-0, that's big for the Jags. The Colts look like shit, man.
Yeah, I'm honestly like shocked. Like, this is one of the teams that we said could be a potential division winner and like a for sure wild card. And they come out, they play like shit against the Texans, end up in a tie, and then they have another shitty game against the fucking Jaguars, which again, these were like 2 of the worst teams in the league last year, so it's like obviously you can't take that into account, but it's like you're not expecting much out of these teams to improve from last place to like fucking first place. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like they have 2 bad games. It's like what is going on with the fucking Colts?
Yeah, I know it's the beginning of the year, but at this rate, bro, like the Colts are gonna end up fucking.
You're already down 2 division
5-13,
games. That's the thing.
And that's
Like, you're already
massive.
down 2 division games now. Like,
Because if the
it's
Jags
okay to
stay-
lose 2 games, but you lost both.
Yeah.
Two, like, you tied 1 division game and you lost the other
Yeah.
one. Like, that's huge.
Because if the Jags stay competitive, which so far they've been competitive, they almost beat the Commanders. They lost it right at the end. They beat the Colts. So it's like if the Jags stay competitive, these division games are going to come down. It's going to come down to the end. You know what I mean? Like if they have the same record,
Yeah.
the Jags are going to have the edge on them because they beat them. Like, so yeah, no, I agree. You can't lose 2 division games to start off the year.
I mean, the big thing for the Colts, I think I said this when they traded for Matt Ryan. I said, stop with the Band-Aid fucking quarterbacks. You know what I mean?
Yeah, just get a guy.
Like, you
that's gonna
took
be the
on
guy.
fucking Carson Wentz. Now you're taking on Matt Ryan. It's like, just fucking go get a quarterback.
I think the last
What the
6
fuck are you
years-
scared of? Like, they drafted Peyton Manning, they drafted Andrew Luck. It's like, what are you scared of? Like, you've drafted back-to-back good quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Obviously, Andrew Luck was unfortunate. He wasted his career. He fucking got hurt. Didn't want to come back. Ended up retiring. And it's like, just go get someone. Like, go draft someone. It's like, stop with the fucking little Band-Aids and trying to stick a veteran quarterback in there and making it work. Like, their team is stacked. Like, their offensive line is really good. They got Jonathan Taylor. They got Michael Pittman. Like, they got talent. Their defense is always pretty good, like how the Steelers is. Like, I don't get it. It's like, what are they doing?
Are we maybe thinking that who's the coach? Frank Reich? Are we maybe thinking that he's not a good coach? Do we think it's
I mean, it's fucking possible. Like, Nathaniel Hackett looks like a fucking bum. Maybe this guy's a bum too. Like,
yeah, I don't know what's going on with them, but they need to figure
like
it out.
fuck,
and
go
figure
out
it
hire
out
Adam
quick.
Gase, offensive guru. You know.
Yeah, that guy is built different. Moving
But I
on.
don't know. I'm really disappointed in the Colts. Like, really fucking disappointed. Like, I
Yeah.
thought that team was gonna be good.
And it's still early, but they just look so bad.
No,
right
they're
now.
shit. I'm off
Yeah.
that train. Fuck the Colts. Not making the playoffs.
Oh shit. All right, moving on to the Bucks at the Saints. I think through like the third quarter, the score was 3-3, and then
Oh
all
yeah,
of a
this
sudden,
was a fucking defensive game.
yeah,
like,
this was a defensive game. The Bucks had a pick six. Jameis Winston threw fucking 3 interceptions. The Bucks defense
yeah, the
won
Bucks
them
defense
this game.
8. 25 points for me. Let's go.
Let's go.
Love
yeah,
that.
they went dummy. Brady, yeah, I know he's missing some wide receivers, and at the end,
He
Mike
had
Evans
2 back-to-back
got out-
stinkers.
got-
2
like,
back-to-back stinkers.
The offense just.
He's
I
my
don't know
fantasy
what's going
quarterback,
on.
and he's getting dropped after
Yeah.
this. I'll tell you that. Dropped on his head.
Yeah, the Bucks offense. I'm sure they'll figure it
They
out.
finally
It's
beat
Tom
the fucking
Brady.
Saints, though.
Yes, they did.
Finally beat them. Like, I don't
Yeah.
think Tom's beaten them since he's gotten there, right?
No, he
I don't
hasn't.
think.
He's 0-4 against them.
Yeah, so it's like
Yeah.
finally got that win. Like, holy shit.
I will say this Bucks team right now, I do think they're still one of the top teams in the NFC because you have somebody like Brady at quarterback, you got weapons, you got a good defense. But I will say that I think this Bucks team is shaping up to be like a typical Patriots team that we've seen of old with Tom
Yeah.
Brady. You know what I mean? Like, not so much a team where Brady's going to throw for 5,000 yards like he has the last 2 seasons. It's going to be a team where Brady throws
Is
for
Brady's age
3,500.
catching up on him a little bit, you think?
I don't want to say that just because I don't necessarily think it is. I think they've had a weird couple weeks. Like,
He has not looked
before I
as good
say
as he
that-
has before.
No, I mean, I will agree with that 100%. But before I go and make that assumption, I'm going to give it about 5 weeks. You know what I mean?
I got 5 weeks.
Yeah, I'll give them 5 weeks, and if they're still struggling to move the ball down the field, then yeah. I also saw this one stat that's kind of fucking crazy and funny. Bucks offense, first 2 games, 1 touchdown. Bucks defense, first 2 games, 1 touchdown. So when your
Yeah.
defense is putting up as many touchdowns as you are, something's not good. Something's not going right. You know what I mean? But they're still
Yeah.
figuring out a way to win, just like Brady always does and his teams always do. But I will say this is going to be a typical Brady team from the Patriots that we've seen of old, in my opinion. Which can still be competitive. I mean, they've won fucking Super Bowls all those years in New England that way. So it's not to say that they're a bad team. I mean, fuck, they're 2-0 still.
I'm just
The
gonna say
Saints
this.
don't look half bad, though, on defense.
I'm just gonna say this real quick. If you have Leonard Fournette in fantasy, he apologized and said, "I'm gonna get touchdowns again."
Yeah, he said touchdowns are coming. So,
And then the other piece of news I know from this game or from this team is that Tom Brady will be having every Wednesday off now.
nice. He probably needs it. He's like 90. Dude might fucking
I mean,
die on the
I
football
get it,
field.
but it's like it kind of also sucks. It's like it's literally in the middle of the week, and it's like, yeah, I'm not gonna be here
Yeah.
every day now,
You gotta be there with your
every
team.
week now.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like, that kind of sucks because like, what
Yeah.
the fuck are you gonna do? Like, that's literally a Wednesday. Like, what happens if you have to fucking play Thursday? It just doesn't come Wednesday.
Just doesn't come to. Yeah, exactly.
Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
He's got a lot going on this season compared to like other season. I'm not. Maybe that too is maybe why he's not playing as good because he's like really distracted. I don't know.
I think
Because I remember there was that one
distracted.
interview. He's a little bit weird this season because like I remember that one interview that he kind of like said to the guy like, "Well, I got a lot. There's a lot of shit going on now.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?"
Yeah.
And like maybe something's happening behind the scenes that we don't know about, and maybe will come out later.
Well,
But
there's all those rumors about the fucking divorce. That there's a divorce. Or I don't know
oh
if they're
yeah, I already
rumors
saw
or
that.
true or not. But like,
His wife's going back to modeling. Like,
yeah, I don't know what's going
I
on
don't,
with all that.
I don't know what's going on behind the scenes, but it doesn't seem something seems up because he doesn't seem right.
Yeah.
But hopefully it's fine.
Next we got what? The Panthers at the Giants. I will say real quick. Can anybody tell me if they thought? Go to the comments right now. If you thought the Giants were going to start the season 2-0, you were the smartest guy, and you need to be on our podcast every week because I don't think anybody.
You need to be fucking locked in a room and where's their time machine? Like,
because I don't think anybody expected the Giants to go 2-0 except maybe a Giants fan.
I don't even think Giant fans expect to go 2-0. Janine didn't expect it.
There's
like,
no way. Like, I know, and before we get too far, like, they played the Titans, who looked bad, and we'll get a good grip tonight on how the Titans actually look as a team. They played the Panthers that everybody kind of expected to be kind of a middle-of-the-pack team, probably lesser. So it's like, it's not like they're playing the fucking Bucks and
I'm gonna say real quick, I don't like when people, like, kind of discredit. They're all NFL teams at the end of the day. These are all NFL talented players, like... You gotta give people.
No, I'm not.
You gotta give people credit. Like, obviously, like you can say here and say like, "Oh, there's 2-0 teams better than this one." Like, yeah, but they're still 2-0 at the end of the day. They still showed up, got their job done.
No, 100%. That's what I'm getting to. Like, they played the Panthers and the Titans, but they still, at the end of the day, figured out a way to win. Were they the prettiest games? No, but they're still figuring out ways to win. So,
like, what was it? Like, Derrick Henry averaged like less than 4 yards a carry. Like,
yeah, that's something
that
that
in
you want
itself is a fucking victory
out of a team. You know what I mean? Like, and like Nick said before the podcast, Saquon's looking really good. If he
they
can
don't even have
healthy,
Kayvon Thibodeau, which is a rookie first round pick.
Yeah.
He's been out.
You add him into the mix.
What's his name? Kadarius Toney hasn't really even been playing. Like, he has been, but he hasn't been doing really anything. So I'm not sure if he's hurt.
They haven't been like mixing.
Kenny Golladay, who has the highest fucking cap hit this year, isn't even fucking getting the ball. Like, I don't even know if he got. Yeah. I think he got like what 2 targets or something. I saw.
I really don't even know who the fuck the ball's going to on the offense. Saquon, I guess, and that's it. Like. Sterling Shepard?
I saw fucking the tight end catch a touchdown when I was watching him. I was like, okay, like, it's one of these offenses.
They're figuring out ways to win, and that's what you want out of a team. Because once they do figure out how they want their offense to look and to be, that's when it starts to get scary. Because they've already figured out how to win ball games. So when you add those together, then they start to look pretty good. I'm not saying they're a fucking Super Bowl contender, but they look pretty decent as of right now. I did not expect them to start out 2-0, and that's pretty good. At this rate, the Cowboys are 1-1. The fucking Commanders are 1-1. The Eagles
are
1-0. Like, they still got a chance. You got a chance at the division starting off hot 2-0 like this. So they keep that going. I wouldn't be surprised they could end up as a wild card spot. Like, surprisingly, I did not expect to say that. But.
I mean, the NFC, like we talked about, the NFC's weak as shit. Like, all it takes is one of these teams to come up out of the rebuilding stage and go on to the middle of the pack. You know what I mean? And they can make the playoffs. Like,
yeah, 100%.
I think the NFC is terrible this year, and I think almost a lot of these teams that could come out of there are maybe like the NFC, like the surprises. You know what I mean?
100%.
But moving on, like, you had a battle of the coaches here.
Mike Tomlin. Love that guy.
Mike Tomlin and
Bill Belichick.
I'm not sure how many times they matched up, but it seems like they always play each other a lot.
Always, bro.
I feel like they got to have at least like 20 games between each other, and they're not even in the same division. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I honestly really can't say shit about this game. The only thing I saw was that deep pass where he chucked it up to fucking Aguilar, I think it was.
Oh, and he fucking mossed his ass? Yeah.
And he caught it, went to the end zone.
Yeah. This game was ugly,
that was like the only thing I saw.
I will say, I'm hearing a lot of Steelers fans already screaming for Kenny Pickett, saying that Mitch Trubisky isn't making any plays downfield.
Oh yeah, I saw
a little bit of chances.
I saw a little bit of that.
They're already ready for Pickett to be in at quarterback. Like, the Steelers' defense is keeping them in games, which is kind of what they've always done. But in this day and age in the NFL, you need to put points on the fucking board. That's the only way you're going to win games. And it's bad enough TJ Watt's already out for however long it's going to be. Potentially this season, maybe. I don't know yet. But you need to put points on the board as the offense, and 14 points isn't going to fucking do it. I'm sorry. It's just not.
I just pulled up the stat card here, the scoreboard, whatever you want to call it. Mac Jones here had 252 yards on 35 passes attempts. He completed 21. He had 1 touchdown, 1 interception. What is that? A quarterback rating of 79.7.
Yikes.
Pretty average. Damian Harris, their running back. Their running game is always pretty good. He had 71 yards on 4.7 an average, and he had 1 touchdown. Egor had 110 yards, 1 touchdown. Myers had 95 yards and no touchdowns. And then Mitchell Trubisky, 21 completions out of 33, 168 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, 3 sacks.
So just me.
And he had a 73.8 quarterback rating.
Yeah.
And it looks like they stuffed the fuck out of Najee Harris because he had 49 yards for an average of 3.3 carries.
Yikes. I know the Steelers fans are asking for Pickett and they want Pickett, but at the beginning of the season, I'm pretty sure Mike Tomlin came out and said that he wants Pickett to sit the whole year. So I don't even think Pickett is.
Yeah, I
Mike
think it's better for him to probably sit.
No, I agree. I think you just need to ride this season out with Mitch Trubisky if y'all make.
Because what was he, a second round pick, third round pick? Like he's not even like he's a first round pick. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think he drafted in the second.
Because I know he's a later pick. I don't think any quarterback got drafted in the first round in that draft class.
I know that the Steelers fans, they're probably looking at it like, oh my God, we came out and beat the Bengals week 1. Like, we're a competitive team. We can make the playoffs. Let's try to give our team the best chance to make the playoffs. And in their minds, they think it's Kenny Pickett over Mitch Trubisky. But I think, in my opinion, this year, the Steelers need to just ride this year out. If they make the playoffs, they make the playoffs. If not, they start next year with the rookie quarterback, Kenny Pickett, and then you need to start getting your hopes up for more than that. You know what I mean? Because you got the weapons, you got the defense, but let Kenny Pickett mature in the league. Let him watch for a year. Let him figure things out and
let him learn. Let him grow.
Yeah, I mean, look at Patrick Mahomes. The dude didn't play the whole fucking year besides the last game of the year, his rookie year, and then he came out the next year and fucking balled.
And put up like 50 TDs.
Yeah, so let the dude mature. Let him figure it out and. If you don't make the playoffs this year,
I also like the Steelers' offensive weapons. Like, you got Pratt Firemouth? Isn't he still there?
Yeah, he is.
You got Najee Harris.
Johnson.
You got George Pickens that you drafted, Deontay Johnson, and then Chase Claypool.
Yeah.
Their defense also isn't bad too. I think probably their offensive line could get a little bit better, but it's like you got pieces there.
You just need to develop them a little bit more. And I think a lot of the thing behind the Kenny Pickett thing, that everybody's wanting Kenny Pickett because in their eyes, right, they drafted George Pickens in the second round. There's so much hype around George Pickens, and Mitch Trubisky is throwing the ball to him 2 times in 2 games. So it's like they're looking at it and they're saying, well, we need to get Pickens the ball more, and Mitch Trubisky's not doing that. Let's put Pickett in and feed Pickens. But it's like, it's second week of the season, my dude. Like, Pickens is going to get his fucking touches. Let him fucking get there. Mitch Trubisky still hasn't played in 2 years. This is his second game back after being a backup for 2 years. Let him get in a rhythm. Like, I'm not saying they're going to go out and score 40 points a game, but let him fucking
I think at the end of the day,
out.
too, I think you have to be honest with yourself. And I think a lot of these coaches and GMs are honest with themselves as well on what your goal is.
Yeah.
Do you see this team winning the Super Bowl? Probably not. Like, absolutely not. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no.
Do you have a chance? Maybe. If all things go right? Yeah, sure. Everyone has a chance that happens. That's a fucking miracle. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, 100%.
And I think they're honest with themselves that they're not probably looking to contend this year. So why not just go out there and do what they can with what they have now?
Yep.
See what it can do. And if it doesn't work, okay, it didn't work. And then you go out. Next year, you got Kenny Pickett to start. You got George Pickens, all these weapons. And then you got a little bit more.
Yep.
Like, you go into the next season with a little bit more optimism, and you hope for the best.
And I think that's the problem. The fans just aren't looking at this and saying, "All right." I think that's how you are as a fan. I get it. Like, you want to win a Super Bowl every year. That's your goal. But realistically, that's not likely. So these fans just need to come back down to earth a little bit, realize what your team has and what the expectations are, and then go with that and just enjoy the ride. You know what I mean? Like, that's what it is at the end of the day, in my opinion. Moving on to the Falcons and the Rams. This was a pretty solid game. At the end, the Falcons almost came back and made it interesting.
Yeah, the Falcons started putting a comeback together.
The Rams look like shit, in my opinion.
It came down to a pick from Jalen Ramsey, actually.
Yeah, it did.
Then the comeback.
Yep, the end of the comeback that Jalen Ramsey picked it off in the end zone. I don't think the Rams look like the Super Bowl winning team, in my opinion. Like,
no.
They barely fucking...
Both Super Bowl teams don't look like they're Super Bowl teams. Like,
they barely beat the Falcons. They didn't beat the fucking Bills, which I know it was the Bills, but they looked like shit against the Bills. And they didn't look too great against the Falcons. Like, I don't know if it's Matt Stafford. I don't know what it is, but they just don't look too hot right now. I'm sure they'll figure it out because Sean McVay always does, but they just don't look the greatest in my opinion.
All I'm going to say is Drake London, I drafted him. Like, what can I say?
The dude's a beast.
I picked rookie wide receivers like nothing.
There's so many people out there that are mad because like fantasy players because they've drafted Kyle Pitts so high for the last 2 years and he just hasn't been worth that draft pick the last 2 years. And it's just so funny. Like I haven't really seen the hype on Kyle Pitts. Like I know he's a good tight end, but I don't know if they're just not giving him the ball enough or including him in the offense, but a lot of people are mad that they've drafted Kyle Pitts so high the last 2 years for him to not.
Kyle Pitts had 3 targets, 2 catches for 19 yards, whereas Drake London had 12 targets, 8 receptions, 86 yards, 1 touchdown.
That offense is going through Drake London, and Marcus Mariota doesn't look half bad.
He had 196 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, 3 sacks.
Yeah. Got to stop the interceptions, but still.
Matt Stafford, I mean, he threw 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. So.
Yeah.
I will say though, real quick, the website I use for bet is BetMGM, and they have Drake London as now the Rookie of the Year favorite.
Oh, I could see that.
When I was looking at it, he was already like number 1, and I was like, yeah, I mean, I can see it. Like,
who's second and third?
Oh, I have no idea. I have to pull it up.
Oh, okay.
I can pull it up though if you want me to.
Gotcha.
Just keep talking. I'll pull it up.
Yeah. Moving on to the 49ers or the Seahawks at the 49ers. This is kind of how I expected the Seahawks to look. In last week's game against the Broncos, that was a weird ordeal. They looked a lot better than they actually were, in my opinion. But this is how I expected the Seahawks to look. They didn't even score an offensive touchdown. I think their touchdown was on a blocked kick. The 49ers lost Trey Lance in like the fucking first drive of the game or something like that. Did Kenneth Walker? Yeah. Kenneth Walker played. I don't think he did much, but this was his first week back from the hernia. So yeah, he played. They had him like included in some plays. He was in like some wildcat formations. Like they were trying to get him the ball. So I think in a few weeks,
who are you talking about?
Kenneth Walker.
Oh, okay.
I think in a few weeks, Kenneth Walker could be getting a lot more touches once he gets a little bit more healthier. 49ers look good. Jimmy G came in, didn't look half bad.
Wait, you said Kenneth Walker did play?
Yeah, he did.
Okay, well, there's your answer then. I don't know how you say that guy's name. Lee PX?
Yeah, that's what I was answering.
Okay. Oh, okay. Carry on.
Yeah, so the 49ers look pretty good. They got a good team. I think it just comes down to, like we've always said, their quarterback play. If Jimmy G can keep them in the game, they look promising. But
they look pretty solid, honestly.
Yeah, they look solid.
I was watching a little bit, and I was like, Jimmy G just looks like he's picking back up where he left off.
Yeah, and
it's actually so funny. I actually saw a clip real quick of like him talking to a reporter, and the guy said you made like $200,000. He's like, well, I guess that does feel nice, and like he smiled. And I'm like, yeah, funny. I mean, fuck me, like $200,000, like for one day, yeah.
Yeah, one day at work.
But I think someone said that he can turn his contract into like $16 million if he ends up making the Super Bowl or something like that. That's just insane to me.
He's got a lot of like playoff incentives.
Yeah, like incentives, like to win stuff. Yeah.
So he'll be making some money with Trey Lance.
I will say too, I think it was last week or the week before. I think it was the week with Nathan, the week before, where we talked about Jimmy G potentially being traded, how he told him like he has a no trade clause.
Yeah.
And it looks like it honestly like the stars aligned perfectly for him because now he can increase on his stock, build on it, or shit the bed. You never know.
Yeah.
And if he does really well or makes his playoffs, does whatever, it's like, well, then he's gonna get a bag somewhere.
Oh yeah.
Someone will overpay and try and do the Colts strategy of slapping a Band-Aid on it or
maybe
whatever.
Maybe the Colts will pick him up, bro.
Oh, maybe. They like to slap Band-Aids on it, so maybe.
So I wouldn't be surprised if that happens. But it looks like they structured Jimmy G's contract to where he's going to make a lesser amount if he stays the backup, and then they gave him a lot of incentives to where they gave him a lot of incentives to where if they put him in to play, he's going to make more money if he plays. So that's kind of what they expected. That's why they brought him back, just to have that safety blanket if Trey Lance didn't work out or if he got injured or whatever. But the 49ers look solid. Moving on to the Bengals.
Even without George Kittle too.
Yeah, their backup tight end had a nice little grab.
Playing 2 weeks without George Kittle. That's a pretty big part of their offense.
I heard
and their running back too, Elijah Mitchell.
I heard a stat. They were like, I want to say
better without
2-18 without George Kittle, like really bad without George Kittle. So for them to pull out a dub without him is good, because we all know that when George Kittle's healthy and he's on the field, he brings their offense to a whole.
He's literally like the second best tight end, like you can argue the first, but I like Kelsey more, but he's got to stay healthy. Yeah. He's got to stay fucking healthy.
I'd argue him like the second best or third best. Like I could see the argument for Kelsey, Andrews, Kittle. Yeah. I could see the argument for Kelsey, Kittle, Andrews. Like he's somewhere around this.
I always had it like 1A and then 1B because they're like really on par with each other, but he's never been healthy. Like always staying healthy. So it's like, if he can really stay healthy at the end of this, like towards the end of this year, and like obviously throughout the games, like.
Yeah.
I really could see this team doing good. Like Jimmy G, like I said, he's Jimmy G.
Jimmy G finds a way to win.
Jimmy fucking G.
The next we got the Bengals at the Shitters. I mean the Cowboys. Sorry.
What a fucking awful game.
What a bad game. The Cowboys.
Like I watched this and I was not impressed by any team. And obviously I give the Cowboys the excuse because like you're playing a fucking second string quarterback, but. The Bengals, man.
The Bengals are looking ugly.
They're really disappointing, in my opinion. We had them as a division winner, I believe. We had them potentially going back to the playoffs, or back to Super Bowl, sorry. And they just absolutely look fucking terrible.
Yeah, I think we had them
all
as
that
one
money
of the top
to upgrade,
four
like
teams to go to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, like all that money to upgrade the fucking O-line, and it's like you just...
Their O-line looks as bad as it did last year.
It looks worse. It looks worse.
It looks worse, yeah.
Like... He spent all that money getting LL Collins and I don't know who else they added.
I think Marquette or somebody like that. Like they've added.
Yeah, they went through and added I think they went through and replaced everyone except for the left tackle.
Yeah,
pretty much. And it looks worse. Like he's on par to get sacked. What was 100? Over 100 times.
111 times is what they were saying.
And he was sacked 51 times last year. So
yeah,
I don't know if he's gonna have a fucking chiropractor, massage therapist, something, because his back's gonna be hurting at the end of this year.
Let's just hope he doesn't.
If he gets sacked,
Watson.
100. Fuck Jesus Christ.
I'm sorry.
I just hope he doesn't get sacked 100 times, because that's literally like being hit by a car. I don't know how many times. Like that sounds brutal.
Somebody said Cooper Rush for MVP. I don't know about all that, brother.
Is that his name, Cooper Rush?
Yeah, that's a pretty cool name.
It honestly is. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's different.
Yeah. The Bengals just look rough, man. I don't have much to say about them because we predicted them so high and they just look bad. Their offensive line looks bad. Joe Burrow's holding the ball too long. Like, I don't know what it is.
Taking unnecessary hits, unnecessary sacks.
But the Cowboys, I guess, look decent, but at the same time, I don't see them necessarily being a contender with a backup quarterback, but they could be.
They really need to get Dak back. He's not on IR right now, so it's like he can come back any point, but...
They're saying 6 to 8 weeks.
Excuse me.
So
yeah, so I don't know why they didn't put him on IR then if he's not going to play it, but...
Yeah.
I don't know. A little weird to me, but whatever.
Moving on to the Texans at the Broncos. The Texans were leading this game up until the fourth quarter, 9-6. Texans offense looks ugly. We expected it to look ugly. Their defense is keeping them in games. Broncos look just about as ugly as they did on the Monday night game, if not worse. They had another like 3 delay of game penalties.
I'm gonna
at
write the
wrong
Broncos
time.
off too. We wrote the Colts off. I'm writing them off
Yeah,
too. Like we talked about it in our early predictions. Like I don't know what was it, our winners losers. Like we talked about a little bit, and they could potentially be a good team.
Yeah.
Fuck the Broncos. They look like shit. Russell Wilson looks like shit.
Nathaniel
I'm not
Hackett
a
looks
fan.
like shit. Bro, the score was 9-6. The Texans were leading. It was like the fourth quarter with like 8 minutes left or something. The Broncos were about to kick a field goal. Took a delay of game call. Had to punt the ball instead. Like, what are we doing? What the fuck are we doing? Just ugly,
I don't know.
bad game management
That's
all the
poor
way
coaching,
around.
honestly. Poor coaching.
Like, everything. The Broncos just don't look good on the offensive side of the ball. Their defense is keeping them around, hanging around. They need to figure it out with the weapons they got. I know somebody in chat earlier said that they think the Broncos need one more weapon and they're actually contenders.
How many more fucking weapons does he need?
Yeah,
He's got Javonte Williams,
Melvin
fucking Gordon, like Jerry Jeudy, who was a high prospect out of fucking Alabama, like Cortland Sutton. They even have
Albert
Patrick
O
Surtain.
as
Or
a
not? Is
tight
it?
end.
Wait, is it Patrick? That's the corner, isn't it?
That's the
Who's
corner.
the Patrick? Oh my God, what's his name? He's the wide receiver for the Broncos too. That got hurt.
Oh, Tim Patrick.
Tim Patrick, yeah.
Yeah.
He got hurt, unfortunately, but it's like they have so many fucking weapons. It's like at the end of the day, it's like
They're
he's
just
got
not
to play
executing.
better.
Yeah, they're just not executing. I will say, and this is partially because I have Javonte Williams in my most important fantasy league. But I will say their offense looks so much better and so different when they're feeding Javonte Williams. In my opinion,
I think
he's getting.
I think
like
you got
4
to
or
feed him
5.
the ball,
Yeah, like
but it's gonna be hard too when you got a quarterback you're paying $30 million to. You know what I mean?
No,
They
I
want to run
agree.
it for him, but they got to run it with fucking.
It's not
Javonte.
so much that I'm saying feed him the ball and not pass as much. It's more so feed him the ball and stop bringing Melvin Gordon in. You know what I mean? Like every running back touch needs to go to him because when he gets
I
the
think
ball,
that's the problem too. Is they re-signed him and I don't know why.
Melvin Gordon, yeah, it makes no fucking sense. You literally
like you're
have,
wasting money on fucking this guy. Like
yeah, Javonte Williams is so dynamic, and when he gets the ball, he's making dudes miss. Every time he gets the ball, for the most part, he's literally breaking 1 or 2 tackles to get a 4 or 5 yard gain. Like the dude is so good at running the ball, in my opinion, that he needs to get every running back touch. Like I don't know why you're still bringing Melvin Gordon in. Like I know he's a good running back, but just come on, man. What are you doing? But the Broncos just look like shit. I think their coaching is not there. Game management is terrible. You can't beat the Texans by 7 points. You got to beat them by 30. I'm sorry, but that's just ugly.
I'm gonna say this: the Williams is averaging, or he had 15 attempts, he averaged 5 yards a carry, whereas Gordon had 10, and he got 4.7.
Yeah, the more dynamic running back is Williams all day long. Like Melvin Gordon does good. I'm not taking that away from him, but you just have so many more opportunities with Javonte getting.
And then they both had 1 catch. Williams had 10 yards, and Gordon had 6.
Yeah.
But moving on though.
Moving on to the Cardinals at the Raiders. This is another team that I think me and Nick might both be out on. The Raiders they're just blowing every game. I think last week they were leading by like 15 points or something and blew it. This week they were up 23-7 for the longest time and fucking blew it. Like, I don't know.
It was 20-3, I think, wasn't it?
I know at one point for a while I looked and it was 23-7
Oh, let me
for
pull
a
it back
bit.
up. It was like 20-3 at one point.
But at one
and
point
they
it was
fucking
probably
lost.
20-3. Yeah. But I will say, I think Devontae Adams had 2 catches for 12 yards or something like that. So if you're gonna win the game, you need to get that guy the ball more.
It was 20-0 going into halftime.
Yeah. So
20-0. They
you got a
then
whole
scored.
half
The
to
Raiders
score
then put
points.
up 3 points in the third.
Yeah.
The Cardinals put up 7, and then in overtime or fourth quarter, sorry, the Cardinals put up 16, and the
Yeah.
Raiders put up 0.
Yeah.
That's how you lose, right there.
And
Like,
I know the Cardinals won this game, but they still look ugly as well. Like,
oh
you go
yeah.
the whole half and don't score points.
They
and
could have
then-
also lost that game too because Hunter Renfrow fumbled it. That's
Yeah.
what caused. Like,
Yeah.
you still could have lost that game. Like, it was brutal.
They
Like,
literally won off a fumble pick or a fumble recovery return for a touchdown. Like,
yeah,
you almost
like
got
fumble
lucky,
6, whatever you want to call it. Like, I couldn't. what a wild game.
Yeah.
Like, again, those are two teams that we were
High on.
looking like high on. Like,
And they just don't look too good altogether. Moving on to the Packers.
which is actually so fun. I was gonna say real quick, it's actually
Yeah.
funny because the Cardinals always start out so hot, but this year they started out so slow
starting
now.
out slow, so maybe that's a good sign. Maybe they're just. I will say as well with the Cardinals, for some reason I don't know what it is, man, and I know I'm just a big fan of him, so this might be why I'm saying this, but I swear to God,
Kyle Murray.
no. I swear to God, their offense looks different without DeAndre Hopkins. That's just like last year, they looked like shit with no DeAndre Hopkins when he was injured. This year, no DeAndre Hopkins because he's suspended. I'm interested to see when he comes back if they look like the Cardinals of old. Because I think they're...
DeAndre there somewhere.
Yeah, like, for real, bro. Like, I think their just offense is built around DeAndre, and when he's not there, like, I think Kyler Murray relies on DeAndre Hopkins a lot. And when he's not there, Murray just doesn't know what to do, in my opinion.
I mean, yeah, it's your number one receiver. I mean, it
Yeah.
makes sense. Like,
And he's arguably top 5 in the league, in my opinion. I know a lot of people have hated on him recently, but anyways, you got Bears at the Packers. This went how I expected it to go. The Packers looked like the Packers. They fed Aaron Jones the ball. He had like 2 touchdowns and like 130 yards or something. Their defense held them. I will say this game started off 3-0. The Packers scored a field goal, and then the Bears came out and scored pretty quick to make it 7-3. And I was like, okay, maybe we got ourselves a competitive game here. And then like throughout the quarter, like they just looked like shit. And I was like, all right. I ended up turning this game off because I don't really like watching the Packers to begin with. They're just boring in my opinion. I've always felt that way. I don't know why. But throughout like this second quarter, I was like, fuck this, dude. I'm gonna go watch like Game of Thrones or fucking find something to watch because this is just boring to watch in my opinion.
yeah, just honestly, I kind of tuned out. Like, it was
Yeah.
such a boring game. I'm like, well, the Packers are just giving it to the fucking Bears right now.
I
Like,
still own you.
yeah, like pulling up the stats here, like Justin Fields 7 for 11, 70 yards, like one interception, 3 sacks, 43.7 quarterback.
That's in
rating.
the
Not
whole
good.
game?
Yeah, not good.
He went 7 for 11 the whole game.
Yes, 70 yards,
Yikes.
1 interception, 3 sacks, 43.7 quarterback rating.
Y-
David Montgomery, 122 yards, 8.1 an average.
Wait, you said 122 yards?
Yes, David Montgomery.
8.1? So they
Yes.
ran the fuck out of the ball and just couldn't score somehow.
He had 15 attempts. Should have gave him the 30, I guess.
Fuck, man, for real. They just must.
Yeah, they only threw the ball 11 times.
This must have been, like I said, I didn't watch the whole game. I watched like a quarter of it. This game must have ended up just being where the Packers had the ball the whole time, because if you're telling me they only had 11 pass attempts and then 15 rushes, like they
The
barely
Packers
had the
had
fucking ball.
the ball for 37 minutes, and the Bears had it for 22.
Yeah, okay, yeah, the Bears barely had the fucking ball. Yikes.
Passing yards 48 to 220.
Oh, that's crazy. Yeah, so that, that wraps up week 1. You got anything else to say about any of them, Nick?
All I'm gonna say is some good games, some bad games, and some great games.
I will say, back to what we talked about week 1, still some sloppy gameplay all the way across the board at times. Like, these teams need to start figuring it the fuck out and playing lights out
like you
football.
said, like fucking, you missed a field goal because you fucking took a penalty. Like,
yeah, just sloppy all over the place.
You asked me now about the who's behind Drake London, so I did pull this all up. Might as well just go for them all real quick. So for BetMGM, they have. I'm just gonna look at this is MVP. I'll just do the top 10. So Josh Allen is the favorite. Mahomes, Herbert, Lamar, Aaron Rodgers, Jalen Hurts, and then Tua.
Okay, Tua working his way up.
Tua is what is that? 3, 6, 7th.
7th. Okay.
Tom Brady, Joe Burrow, and then Matthew Stafford. That is the top 10. Moving on. What is this one? Oops, I just scrolled right past one. Moving to Defensive Player of the Year. So Defensive Player is Micah Parsons, Myles Garrett, Nick Bosa, Aaron Donald, Joey Bosa. Both Bosa brothers. Von Miller, and then Khalil Mack. Coach of the year. You take a guess who you think it is.
It's gonna be the Dolphins coach.
Mike motherfucking Daniel.
They got him at number 1.
Yep. Followed by number 2 is Kevin O'Connell. That's the Vikings one.
Yep, I like
Brian Dable, Giants. Brandon
Yep.
Staley, Chargers. Nick Sirianni, Eagles. Doug Peterson, surprisingly for the Jaguars, not a bad pick. And then Dan Campbell, yeah. I mean, it makes sense. For
I
the
actually
Lions.
like all of those picks.
I think those are all solid picks.
Yeah, like those are the guys that should be at
And
the
then
top for that right now.
right outside of the top 10 is Sean McDermott and then Kevin Stefanski.
Okay.
I don't like the Stefanski one, but
Yeah, I don't either, but
comeback player of the year is Saquon Barkley, Jameis Winston, Christian McCaffrey, Brian Robinson Jr., even though he hasn't fucking played, Derrick Henry, Michael Thomas, and then Juju Smith-Schuster. I'm not sure what they must be really high on Brian Robinson because he's
well,
fourth.
there was a lot of hype around him out of the fucking
Fourth, and he
preseason.
hasn't even fucking played
He
yet.
hasn't played a snap in
Which
the
is
NFL.
insane.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Offensive player of the year, Justin Jefferson, Cooper Kupp, Jonathan Taylor, Jamar Chase, Devontae Adams, Lamar Jackson, Saquon Barkley. I'm honestly surprised that like they don't have Waddle or Hill. Like Hill's way down here. What is this like?
There's a lot of hate on the Dolphins, bro. You know that.
He's like 17th, and Waddle's like 19th.
That's crazy.
What is surprising? Rookie of the year. This is one that you were asking about originally. So Drake London's the favorite. Johan Dotson, Garrett Wilson, which again is not bad. Doesn't make sense. Brian Robinson Jr., Brees Hall, Chris Olave, and then Kenny Pickett.
Okay. I don't know how Kenny Pickett's in there. He hadn't played yet.
Oh, sorry, that was offensive rookie of the year. If I didn't say that, this is defensive rookie of the year. Aiden Hutchinson, Trayvon Walker, George Karlaftis, Kayvon Thibodeau again hasn't played. Ahmad Gardner, Jordan Davis, and then Jermaine Johnson II. That would be the top 10. And I think that's it. Yep.
Gotcha.
Honestly, I agree with a lot of these, except like again, like the Robinson Jr. one. That's a little weird, but
A lot of them seem where they should be, except for maybe, like I think Tyreek or Waddle at least need to be in the top 10 for offensive
Player of the year, yeah.
right now. Yeah. At least just.
I think
based off the
I'm
first 2
assuming they
weeks.
probably like. Yeah, I'm assuming probably another fucking week or so, and they
Yeah.
probably be in there.
Somebody said in
On a-
chat on a completely
Oh yeah, I
different
just saw
note.
that.
Yeah. On a completely different note, the Giants should drop Kenny Galladay. I agree. That contract is just not worth what that guy does at all. Real quick.
You're just gonna show the
Yeah,
predictions.
I wanted to show the predictions. Nick is smoking me right now. His record is 21-8-1. My record is 14-15-1. But with that being said, last week there was like 6 games that were like 50-50s that we both said at the beginning were 50-50s. So I feel like if any of the... Nick happened to win every single one of those 50-50 games, by the way. Don't know how, but if...
I lost 3 games so far.
If like 3 of those games went my way, me and Nick are pretty much tied. So it's just unfortunate, but it is what it is. We'll make the comeback this week.
Don't be shy. Show them week 1 too.
Oh. Yeah, well, we've already went through week 1.
Well, now you can show them the total of week 1. Week 1, you got smoked too. What's up with it?
I wouldn't say I got smoked week 1. You picked fucking 1 more game than I did. 2 more games.
You're basically. I'm in the playoffs right now. You're not. You know.
Hey, it's a good thing we ain't fucking betting anything on this.
You're below
anyways.
500.
Yeah, no, I'm getting smoked. But again, if I win 3 of these, we're talking about a different story here. But with that being said, we got predictions for this week. Week 3 of the NFL. We'll run through these games pretty quick just because we've already, kind of like last week, we've already talked about all the teams that we've thought and how they played week 2. This week, or for the predictions, we'll just kind of run through and talk about who we think is going to win the game and maybe any quick notes if we got them. But starting off with Thursday night game, Prime Video. Steelers,
What a shitty fucking game.
Yeah, Steelers at the Browns. I don't even know who to pick here. I'm probably going to pick the Browns just because the past 2 weeks they've actually scored some points and the Steelers had that shitty week 1.
Off the back of fucking
Yeah, Nick Chubb.
Nick Chubb scoring 3 touchdowns. I'm probably gonna go Browns too, but
I think I go
these
Browns
are-
here.
I'm not a big fan.
No,
of any of these
ugly
teams.
Thursday night game.
I'm probably not gonna really even watch it, to be honest.
Um,
I might dabble in it, but
Might
it might
dabble.
honestly end up as like background noise.
yeah, I'll be at work, but anyways, Saints at Panthers, kind of another game I'm
This is
not
a toss-up
necessarily.
one, honestly. Like,
Yeah, I think I'm gonna take the Saints just because their defense is playing pretty well. Jameis is
I'm probably gonna go Saints as well, like,
inconsistent, but yeah, I think
if
the
Kamara
Saints take
plays.
this. Yeah. Next week, dude, what is with these games, man? The Texans and the
Bears.
Bears. Like, I don't know how one team picks this. Nick, who you
I'm
got in
going
this one?
Texas. I'm going Texans.
Texans?
Like,
Yeah,
they
I-
gotta win. They
I-
look so much better than the Bears have.
Yeah,
like,
I think the
70
Texans
fucking
win this
passing
as
yards.
well.
Like, come on.
Yeah. I think the Texans win this. They literally tied to the Colts and then almost beat the Broncos. Like, yeah, I'm gonna go.
Texans could be
I know I
could be
said
2-0.
this week 1. I know I said this.
You're gonna pick against the
I was
Texans.
gonna
every
pick against the
week.
Texans every week, but here we are, week 3. I'm picking the Texans.
I will say this: we did say that the Bears are probably gonna be one of the worst teams, and it looks like
Yeah.
it's gonna be true so far, unless somehow they step the fuck
Yeah,
up.
in my opinion, we've only seen the Bears play 1 week because the rain game don't count. So based off the 1 week we've seen, yeah, they just don't look.
They don't
there.
look good though.
Yeah. Next we got the Chiefs at the Colts. I'm taking Chiefs in a fucking landslide because the Colts look like shit.
Yeah. Chiefs all the way.
Chiefs all day. If the Colts
There's just
win
no
it, if the Colts somehow come out and win this game, I'm gonna be so pissed off because it's like, how do you tie to the Texans, get shut out by the Jaguars, and then beat the Chiefs? Like, you know what I mean? Like, but I think Chiefs take this.
Those Dolphins, I think we already talked about this earlier. This is probably like the best game
Mm-hmm.
by far on the schedule.
Yeah, I wish this was a
Honestly,
Monday night game. Or
Yeah,
a Sunday.
it deserves to be a primetime type game, like either Thursday, Sunday, Monday. It's such a toss-up to me. Like, I really want to pick the Dolphins because I'm a Dolphins fan and I believe them. But like, Josh Allen's had our number, but I'm gonna go Dolphins, man. This team honestly gives me hope. I didn't really talk about it when we were talking about the Dolphins, but I'm just gonna say this: like, this is the first time as a Dolphins fan where I was watching my team. At one point on one of the drives that we like, when it came down to the fourth quarter, we need to play perfect football. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
you can't fumble, you can't throw a pick because that just sets you back. Like,
Yep.
you're gonna lose that possession of the time of the quarter. You're gonna lose a possession, and that's less like that's points you didn't get. You know what I mean? And every
Yeah.
point counts when you're on a comeback. Like, you're down 20, like it was 21 points. I think it was in the
21
fourth.
points.
And this was one of the times where like they were like 2nd and 16. I was like, this is like a time where I actually feel like we can get this. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we can
Yeah.
actually convert a fucking first down off of this drive. And I'm like, I've never felt that before. Whereas like I watched like the Chiefs and I'm like, damn, like it's like 3rd and 19. I'm like, Mahomes is gonna get this somehow.
Yeah.
He gets it, and I'm like, what the fuck? But like watching the Dolphins, I'm like, this is actually a time where I felt like this is what good teams feel like.
Yeah.
You can actually
Like-
convert these type of downs. Like, Jesus.
Like I said, bro, it's a good time to be a Dolphins fan. Like, you have to be excited for them. So you're taking
With that
the
said, you're
Dolphins
taking the
in
Bills.
this? No. This could be
You're
one
going
of these.
Dolphins?
Hold on. This could be one of these situations where I could be different and go maybe a little against what I said to get some points back up on Nick if the Bills happen to win. But I'm on the Dolphins hype train. Best wide receiver duo in the league, baby. Let's go Dolphins.
You're going Dolphins?
Fins
Alright.
up. What's up?
Like I said, our defense has definitely got to step up because Josh Allen's had
Yeah.
our number. Like, he has ran
100%.
all over us. He's fucking passed all over us. Like,
And it's going to be tough with the Bills' defense. I wouldn't like we've said with other games. Wouldn't be surprised
I don't think it's
if
gonna
this
be
goes either way. But
I don't think it's gonna be a shootout, but
Yeah.
it's definitely gonna be one where it's like every point's gonna matter.
Yeah, I
'Cause
think with the
these
hype
defenses are gonna be pretty good.
I think with the hype coming off the Ravens comeback win against the
They
Ravens,
gotta be feeling
they
good.
gotta be
They
feeling
gotta be feeling
themselves.
good.
Yeah, coming into this week, I think they come in and I think they beat the Bills. So, next we got the Lions and the Vikings, which is kind of tough because I would have never thought that I'm even potentially thinking about the Lions. I'm gonna go Vikings.
That is honestly
here.
true.
But with that being said, I did give some thought to the Lions on this. Like, they've scored 35 points in the last 2 weeks. So, but I think the Vikings have kind of figured out their team, and I think
I'm
they're
going
going to
Vikings
be
as well.
scary good. Ravens Patriots. Ravens fucking come out. And
I was gonna say real
smoke
quick about the Vikings.
Patriots.
I think we gotta kind of ride the Vikings because we've been talking about them so much.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Justin Jefferson. Like, this is like one of our favorite teams so far.
Yeah, I agree.
But you're gonna go with the Patriots or the Ravens? Sorry.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Ravens against the Patriots because, as I've said before, I'm the
Your
biggest
guy.
Patriots hater.
Your fucking guy.
Yeah, and I gotta go with my guy Lamar. Like, what's up? Who you got?
Honestly, I'm kind of like, I'm thinking about it a little bit, and the reason why I'm thinking about this is like I really don't like this Patriots defense like team at all. But the way Bill is sometimes, like he's so weird. Like he'll find ways to win games that he shouldn't. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's what he's paid to do, and I think he could potentially stop Lamar. But I think talent-wise, I'm gonna go with the Ravens here. I think the Ravens are just gonna just beat them. Like you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you can only stop Lamar so many times, and then he's gonna finally do something. Whereas like the Patriots offense, I don't trust it. Like we literally talked about Mac Jones. He looks, like he has nothing for does nothing for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I agree.
Like so many people are so quick to say he's a franchise quarterback, and it's like where? Like I haven't seen shit from him so far.
How do you see
know what I mean?
this? Yeah. No. 100%.
Like, can I see what you fucking see? Can I have your glasses for a minute? Like,
Yeah.
I don't get it. I
So-
think Lamar's just gonna be able to fucking do whatever he wants with Mark Andrews and
Yeah. I agree.
Bateman.
I will say real
Bengals
quick.
Jets.
Oh, hold on that.
Oh,
like,
okay.
real quick, I wouldn't call it hate, but for some reason there's a lot of talk out there, and maybe it's not so much talk, maybe it's not enough talk about Rashad Bateman. But Rashad Bateman is that guy in the Ravens offense. He is the number one wide receiver. Like, there needs to be more hype on this guy. Like, he needs to be on your fantasy teams. If he's not, it sucks for you. But the way Lamar's coming out and throwing the ball, Rashad Bateman's going to see a lot of that. And I'm really hyped to see how he does and his stat line at the end of the year. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, he could be a fucking 1,000-yard receiver. Like,
Yeah.
he literally destroyed fucking Xavier Howard like last week.
There's just not a lot of people talking about him. When they talk about pass catchers on the Ravens, all they mention is Mark Andrews. Nobody's talking about Rashad Bateman. You know what I mean?
Bateman looks fucking good, man.
Yeah. Moving on to the Bengals and the Jets. Who you got, Nick?
I'm fucked, dude. This is like
It's weird.
This is like the Lions Vikings. Like it's
Yeah.
surprising that you're even giving us a fucking thought. Like I'm pretty sure the Jets beat them last year too, didn't they?
Yeah, I think so.
Like, and then fucking Bengals were the Bengals last year. Like, oh my god, I'm probably gonna go with the Jets. Honestly,
Fuck, man.
I don't really like anything from the Bengals so far. Like, I really don't.
Could you imagine the Jets starting out 2-1 and the Bengals being 0-3? Nobody would have expected that.
I don't know. Like,
Yeah,
this
I'm
is
with
a
you.
hard one. Like, you're going Jets too?
And then I'm not with you. I'm not necessarily with you in that sense yet. I don't know.
You're gonna go Bengals?
I think I'm gonna go
Alright, thinking
Bengals. I'm gonna go Bengals. But
I'm gonna
again,
go Bengals.
I can't believe I'm even giving this a thought to potentially pick the Jets. Kind of like the Lions.
That's the only game so far we've disagreed on.
Yeah.
Or not disagreed, but like, not really disagreed, but like went against each other's picks.
Yeah. It's a tough one. The Jets.
There's
have
some
looked
tough
pretty
games,
promising.
honestly, this week. Like,
Yeah.
just not because they're good games or anything, but just because like they're just
Toss-ups.
such shit teams that it's like, who knows who's gonna fucking win. If the Bengals show up, like I'm not gonna be shocked. Like the Bengals win this game. Like
Yeah,
they have
100%.
so much fucking talent, but the way they're playing right now, I take the Jets all fucking day. Like,
They've also said the Jets have already stated that Joe Flacco is going to start week 3. And I don't know if that's because they know Zach Wilson's out or if they're just riding the hot hand with Joe Flacco. But Joe Flacco is the starter in week 3. So,
man, can you imagine? They don't fucking start Zach Wilson. Like,
I mean,
that's fucked.
if Joe Flacco comes out and beats the Bengals, what do you have
That's
to
what I'm saying.
to
It's a
go-
tough situation because like.
How do
I
you
saw
go
people talking
back
about,
to
like,
Zach Wilson?
Do you put Zach Wilson back in if he's healthy? Like,
I don't know,
because that
man.
to me is almost like the same situation. Whereas the Dolphins, where it's like you had Ryan Fitzpatrick, the team started rallying around him,
Yeah.
and then he went to Tua, and then the team kind of like lost from momentum. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like that's gonna kill your momentum and everything you have going if you put Zach Wilson back in.
Yeah, I don't know how that's going to work because I don't
Especially
know
if he comes back in and he shits the fucking bed.
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
I don't know the timetable on Zach Wilson's injury. I don't know if he's projected, if he's already back, if he's supposed to be back week 4.
It's got to be
But I
like
will say,
4 weeks, 5 weeks. Like, it's got to be close.
So if you say 4 or 5 weeks, right? Let's say the Jets beat the Bengals, right? Start out 2-1.
That's what I'm saying.
And
the
let's
next
say-
week, do you put him fucking in? Like,
Well, if Zach Wilson's still teetering on if he's healthy or not, let's say they sit him for another week. Joe Flacco comes out and wins the next week. The Jets are 3-1. If Zach Wilson's fully healthy, that's my backup quarterback right there, in my opinion. If the Jets start out 3-1
that's the thing.
and it's
I
week
would agree
5,
with you, but he's a second overall pick. It's like you're not gonna play him. Like
I don't. Yeah,
people would lose their minds. Like, why did you draft him? Then if
I
you're not
guess
gonna play him.
okay.
Like,
Yeah, no, I agree. I guess it depends also too if they're winning these games off the back of Joe Flacco, or if they're winning these games off the back of the rest of the team. If Joe Flacco's coming out and dotting kids up and winning the games for the Jets, in my opinion, I don't see how you can go back to Zach Wilson.
even if you're winning, you can't just fucking take him out. Like, I
Yeah.
don't see how you could, because it would just ruin the vibe. I swear to God, that vibe would be killed in that locker room.
It's the same conversation with the Browns at the end of the day. Like, if Jacoby Brissett's got the Browns fucking 8-3 or something whenever Watson's back, like, how do you go back to Watson? You're, like, I don't know. It's tough. I think the Jets is probably a little easier decision because you're making the choice between Joe Flacco and Zach Wilson versus the Browns is Jacoby Brissett versus Deshaun Watson. Like, there's a big drop-off there. Versus
Yeah.
the Jets, not so much because we don't know what Zach Wilson is yet. But I think that's a tough decision that they're genuinely going to have to think about if the Jets come out and start off 2-1, 3-1 when Zach Wilson's healthy.
I mean, yeah, could be a tough decision, but this is also a tough decision. Raiders and Titans. Like, I don't know.
I don't know either, man. This was
I
what
think-
sucks too because we haven't seen the second week of the Titans. So are they going
Yeah.
to be the Titans of the Giants, or are they going to be the Titans of the Titans that we normally see? You know what I mean? Like, we kind of
Yeah.
get an idea of what the Raiders are, but we really don't know about the Titans.
I'm gonna go Raiders. I think this is gonna be a big day for, what's his name, Devontae Adams. I think he's gonna pop off,
Yeah.
get like 160, 70 yards, and he's just gonna have like 2 touchdowns. They can't cover him. They take it. Derrick Henry does whatever, but it doesn't matter at the end of the day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that's where I'm leaning to.
I think I'm leaning towards the Raiders as well. This is such a fucking tough one, man, because it's like the Raiders have not looked good at all.
It's a very tough matchup. I have no idea. I'm just
Here's the
going
thing,
off of what I
too.
think.
This could potentially be 2 teams that are 0-2 coming into this week. Because the Titans play the Bills.
This will probably be a must-win game.
Yeah, for either team. Oh, fuck, man.
Almost
you know
like
what?
a make it or break of your season, like relies on a type game.
I'm going Titans on this. I think Mike Vrabel figures this out, and the Raiders just don't look good, in my opinion.
I mean,
I don't know.
they've had some close games. I'll give them that. They've had some close games, some tough
They've had
calls.
close games because of themselves, though. That's the thing. Both of those games, they've literally won.
That is true.
It's not like they're staying close with the team and going back touchdown for touchdown. They're smoking these dudes in the first half and then getting smoked in the second half. So it's like, if you
I
can't
think Josh
finish, you
McDaniels
can't finish.
figures it out, and fucking he unleashes Devontae Adams this week.
I wouldn't be surprised either one. And I do see the Devontae Adams thing because, like I said, I think he had 12 yards and a touchdown.
I think he
this week.
pops off this week
Yeah.
and fucking
I-
just goes
I'm
all
going to be a
over the
little different
fucking.
here, and this is a toss-up one
Titans.
for me. And I know we've agreed on most of the other ones, but just to be a little different, get some different vantage points, I'm going to go Titans on this one.
Okay.
Fuck it. Next one, we got Eagles at the Commanders. I'm taking Eagles all day long. Commanders suck. Carson Wentz
Eagles.
sucks.
I'm not even gonna. I don't even need to
Yeah.
talk about it.
Jaguars, Chargers. Again,
Oh my
can't believe
god.
I'm even
Such
thinking
a
about
toss
this one.
up, man. Fuck.
But I'm
No,
taking
I'm
the
going
Chargers.
I'm going Chargers. Dude.
No, I'm going Chargers too.
Chargers
but I'm
got
going to
this
give the
all
Jaguars
day.
a little thought. Like,
Nah.
do they
not
get
even a
this all
thought.
day though? This is another one.
All day.
They had the Chiefs in the bag and fucking
Chargers
blew it because
choke,
they did
but-
the Chargers thing.
They got this all day.
I'm taking the Chargers. Yes.
All day. Justin Herbert.
Oh my god, we got
Goes for
two
like
more
300
teams
yards.
that we got 2 more teams that look like
Oh,
fucking
no,
shit.
this is
Dude, what
fucked,
is
man.
This, man.
You got, man, this schedule is hard. Rams Cardinals, another 2 shitty type fucking teams.
Oh my goodness, man.
Fuck.
This week sucks.
I'm gonna go Rams. I think their defense is better than the Cardinals. I think fucking Aaron Donald just absolutely destroys little Kyle Murray, you know?
Yeah, I'm gonna pick the Rams here too because the Cardinals just don't look good. Like they're putting
Both
up some
teams
points.
don't really look good,
no,
but I
they
think
don't. The Rams just look
I
a
think
little
the
bit
defense
better.
for the Rams is better.
Yeah, I agree.
Falcons,
and
Seahawks. I'm going Falcons.
I'm going Falcons. They've
Falcons.
looked very good. Like,
Going
I know
Falcons.
they're 0-2,
Cordell
but
Patterson and
yeah.
fucking Drake London are gonna eat this shit up.
Nah, I'm taking the Falcons on this too. They've looked
Slant.
promising.
What's his name? Fucking. What do they call him? Blitzboy's not playing anymore. He's out.
Boy, yeah, he's out for the season, I think.
Cordell Patterson's gonna go all over it. Fucking Drake London. Maybe a little bit of Kyle Pitts.
Somebody said Jags on the come up. They're winning it against the Chargers.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised, honestly. Like,
I wouldn't, but
Chargers fucking
got
blow
that.
games all the
Yeah.
time. So
Packers,
Bucks.
Bucks. Rodgers against Brady, huh?
without Mike Evans,
Without Mike Evans, and Brady hasn't looked the greatest.
I think I gotta go Packers. Because I'm thinking about it. You have Jair Alexander, right?
Yeah.
Who's he fucking matching up against? Like, nobody. Like, so it's like that's one wide receiver already out because like he's already going down to like his third string wide receiver.
Number
Like,
2 and number 3.
and then it's even his number 3 now because Chris Godwin's out, right? Mike
I
Evans
guess
out, so that's your third receiver
guess
going down to now
technically-
your fourth receiver.
Yeah,
like,
you're relying on your 4th and 5th string.
like that's what I'm saying. Like, you're gonna have to get those guys to beat them, and it's like, and then your tight ends. And then maybe this is a game that I think you have like Brady needs to rely on Leonard Fournette to just fucking run the ball
I
in
think
their defense, but I think the Packers are just better.
The Packers are just healthier. I wouldn't necessarily say they're a better team. I just
I
think
think they're
a lot
better for this
healthier.
week because
Yeah.
they don't have have
No, 100%.
like wide receivers. Like
Yeah.
the Bucks don't have anyone.
Fuck, man, this is tough.
I like the Buccaneers team. Like, it's good, but they just don't have Chris Godwin. They don't have Mike Evans. Like, I don't know how you're gonna win. Unless Tom Brady fucking turns into Tom Brady of old and just goes off of like unknown players. You know what I mean?
You know what? I'm taking Bucks on this. Tom Brady always figures out a way, and their defense just looks nice, man. Their defense looks really good.
49ers Broncos. I'm going 49ers.
Yeah, fuck the Broncos. 49ers figure this out. Jimmy G season, baby. Jimmy G is back.
All right, bring us home on the Monday night here. Who you got?
I'm taking the Giants. I'm on the Giants train. Fuck the
I'm
Cowboys.
going Giants. Fuck it, man.
Giants win this.
Giants
For
have potential
sure.
to go 3-0.
3-0. That'd be crazy.
Who's Wait,
what?
who's 2-0 right now? Wait, I gotta pull up the NFL schedule. Who's 2-0? Who has a chance to win these games?
Chiefs is 2-0.
So Chiefs have a
Dolphins.
chance to beat. Chiefs could easily beat the Colts.
Yeah.
Dolphins, that's gonna be a tough one, but you could do it.
Yeah.
If the Vikings win tonight, they have a chance. And then
If the Eagles
the
win.
Giants and the Eagles, right?
Yeah, the Eagles.
Oh, and the Bucks.
Eagles, Bucks, Giants, yeah. There's
Yeah.
not many 2-0 teams. Yeah, it'll be interesting. Normally there's a couple teams every year that like throughout the first 4 or 5 weeks have the potential of staying undefeated. But I feel like the Chiefs really, in my opinion, Chiefs or maybe Vikings might be the only team that have like a easier ride to stay undefeated. Granted, the Vikings got to play the Eagles tonight, but still, like, I don't know if we'll have many undefeated teams after week 3 or 4. Like, somebody's gonna get a loss eventually.
I think the Giants honestly is not bad either. I mean,
Yeah,
the Cowboys defense is probably not an easy one to match up against because I feel like
Micah Parsons
Parsons been
yeah.
fucking going off, but I don't like the fucking Cowboys offense. So
no, they just
without
look
Dak Prescott
rough.
and even with Dak Prescott, that look great.
And
So
if Dalton Schultz is out, that's one less
Yeah.
weapon you got. You're already low on the wide receiver weapons. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I think the Giants,
definitely some potential for 3-0 teams, but some
Yeah.
games are gonna be tougher than others, obviously.
No, 100%.
Dolphins definitely had like a really tough schedule to start the year, so if we can make it out 2-1, I'll be happy. Like, if we would have played the Patriots, the Ravens, and then the Bills, like,
Yeah, the Vikings
That's
don't necessarily have an easy schedule either. They played Green Bay division. They play Eagles, which Eagles are looking pretty promising. And then they
And
play
another division
Lions,
game.
another division, which the Lions are looking promising too. Like, the first 3 weeks for the Dolphins and the Vikings are looking a little rough.
yeah, tough matchups, man. Tough
I'm
matchups.
excited for week 3.
Definitely a lot of games like we were going through like that are just shit.
Shit.
but
Yeah.
they're so hard to fucking call. It's like, who's gonna win the toilet bowl? Like, I don't know. I
Holy
hate games like
shit.
that because they're so fucking hard to call. Like,
Okay, so like I just want to shout out real quick like how like it's crazy, right? So 49ers running backs, Elijah Mitchell's out, Jeff Wilson's the backup, right?
yeah,
After week 1 or before week 1, I added Jordan Mason to my bench as a backup 49ers because I thought he was going to be the guy and not Jeff Wilson. Comes out it was
Correct.
Jeff Wilson. Well, they also have that other rookie running back, Tyron Davis-Price. He apparently has a high ankle sprain and will be sidelined 4 to 6 weeks. So
their running backs are just in shambles.
yeah,
now.
that pickup of Jordan Mason might not look too bad right now. But yeah, no, that just came out. He's out 4 to 6 weeks, so their running backs are definitely going to be hurting. So if you're in like a deeper league, maybe look at picking up Jordan Mason for fantasy. I know he's not necessarily the starter, but he is the backup behind Jeff Wilson Jr. And Jeff Wilson Jr. is known to have some injuries here and there. So just a quick fantasy thing to maybe look into and think about picking up. And also, I got another notification. Gabe Davis is not expected to play tonight for the Bills. He is out.
Oof. That's a big one, honestly.
Yeah, it really is because now it's going to be the Stephon Diggs show. But they got Isaiah McKenzie and the running backs. They might be all right.
How much would you bet on the Vikings to beat the Eagles?
Me personally,
Yes.
I don't know if I'd even take that bet.
You would not take the Vikings to beat the Eagles?
I'd maybe put $10 on it. You gotta realize I got some ties to the Eagles, bro. So it's hard for me to like sit there and make that pick. You know what I mean? Plus, those are two pretty good teams in my opinion. I think for you it would be easier to bet on the Vikings.
I said $10 fucking dollars.
I don't know how much you normally bet.
How much would you bet on Justin Jefferson?
How much would I bet on Justin Jefferson to score? $50.
$50, huh? Big baller here.
No, I'm playing. If I had $50, yeah, but no.
And it was legal in fucking Texas?
Yeah, that's the biggest thing. If it was legal in Texas, that'd be lit. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how much you normally bet, so it's hard to give you a number.
How much would you bet? Like, how confident? Like, that's what I'm asking. Like, how confident do you think you are?
I feel like there's no way Justin Jefferson didn't get a touchdown. So I feel like $20 is pretty solid, right? What do you win off of that if you bet $20? Is the odds even worth it?
If you bet, yeah, the odds are definitely worth it. If you bet $20, you make $36.60 plus your 20 back. So like, what is that? $56 back in total.
Yeah, it's not bad. So you get
no, it's not bad at all for fucking one. Like all you need is just a fucking. You need is him to just catch. He doesn't need to get fucking just catch at the 1 yard line. Boom, stick the ball in his zone. How hard is that?
No, it's not hard. If you got the $20 to bet, then you're in there. Like that's a good bet. If you got the $20 to bet, you're not gonna miss it.
Even Delvin Cook, like I feel like he's probably gonna get a touchdown. Like.
I feel like it could potentially be a low key shootout here. We'll see. With that being said, sorry, me and Nick kind of got in a fucking weird like ramble right there. With that being said, that's all I got for week 2 recap and week 3 predictions. Nick, you got anything else?
Yeah, I just locked my bet in for Justin Jefferson. I put 25.
This man's betting in the middle of filming a podcast. I can't take it serious.
But, nothing to really say. Again, just a little bit of sloppy play this week.
Yeah.
Some great games though. Ravens, fucking Dolphins. Thank you for that. What a great game that was. Shout out to anyone that fucking watches, anyone that subscribed, anyone that liked the video, followed on anything. Like if you followed on what's this shit called? Twitch. I forgot what it's called for a minute there.
Yeah.
Like, subscribe to videos. You never know. You know?
Yep.
We're always here. Every Monday. Videos always go live. Yeah. Real quick. Videos always go live on Tuesdays, 7 o'clock Eastern time.
Yeah, we've got a pretty good schedule as of right now. And it looks like we're going live around the same time as well on Monday on the Twitch.
Like, what is that, 4
Eastern?
p.m.s?
Yeah. It might be different by a couple of hours here and there, but for the most part, it's around like 4 p.m. Eastern.
Yeah, we kind of got a little bit of a schedule going.
Yeah, real quick, Nick, week 3. Any predictions? Any bold predictions? Any bold takes? Any hopes
For week
for
three.
week 3?
Wait, look at the schedule. Can you just go down a little bit?
Yeah.
Give me like a quick glance at the schedule here. Well, I guess like I'll say one real quick, like off the bat, because I'm a Dolphins fan, but I'm gonna say like Tua just continues his momentum. I'm not
Okay.
gonna say here and say he throws like 6 touchdowns again, but he
But
throws
he
like
just keeps it going.
I think he's gonna throw like 3 touchdowns, like 300 yards.
Okay.
Put up a decent performance against a really good Bills team. Maybe they win it, maybe they don't. I'm not too sure. I'm not confident in them beating the Bills because the Bills have been really good.
Yeah,
But I definitely feel more confident this year than I have in other years.
I like it.
But again, like you're not gonna always win every game, so
Nah, not at all. I don't really have any bold predictions or takes for week 3. I will just say my only hope for week 3 is just clean football. We've had a couple weeks of sloppy play. I know we've mentioned it a couple times, but my hope is these teams like the Broncos and them just figure it out. Clean it up,
I hope teams
make it
like
look
clean
good.
the fuck up,
Yeah,
like
'cause
Jesus Christ.
We're still getting sloppy. With that being said, we appreciate the support, appreciate the likes, the subscribes, keep it going. We're doing this shit because we love it. The numbers
Real
don't
quick,
matter
vote
to us
Tua
a whole
for Air Player of the Year or
Vote-
week, whatever it
Vote
is.
Tua for Air Player of the Week. FedEx Air Player of the Week. We love it. But yeah, make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe. We appreciate y'all. We love y'all. We will catch y'all next week. Peace.
Let's go.